want to make sure that I acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley, because Tiege Hanley sent me this new pack. They sent me the new Tiege pack, so I just literally pulled the paper out, got it out of the mail, and I started going through it, and I got a little bit more excited than I should. You know what I'm saying? So they did send me the Tiege pack, and I don't even know what this is yet. So I'm assuming this is what you get when you first order your Tiege, and I don't know what this is. Oh, this is dope. This is absolutely dope. Is this a nail kit? Ladies, get this for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. This is free. This just comes with it. 30% off your first order, plus 20% off for life. Literally. Oh, snaps. I didn't know that they were sending it like this. Real talk. So this is the nail kit that they sending you. All right, so now you ain't looking like a dusty. This is a free gift straight from Tiege for the people that ordered the Tiege. They got the small one for the little hands like mine's. They got the big joints for your toenails. And then they got the joints at the bottom too. You know what I'm saying? For y'all that's a little bit more crustier than usual. All right, so that's one of the free gifts that Tiege got inside of the pack. And then what is this? Says squeeze a quarter size amount of Tiege Hanley body wash on the center of the wet bristles. Lather, scrub, rinse, and repeat for the perfectly satisfying wash every time. So that's inside of there also, right? Ooh, I can get my rubber ducky on right here. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege for sending me that uncomplicated skincare for men. And then what we got in here? We got the actual Tiege pack, right? So this is the normal Tiege pack. But then they gave me the supersized joint for the people. They wanted me to show the people exactly what they got when they ordered that first Tiege pack, when you're getting your 30% off your first order, and then you get your free gifts. You get 2 free gifts, and then the 20% off for life. So the 20% off for life is a new thing. And, dang, I ain't even got my keys on me to open this up. Maybe I can use the little nail clipper thing. I ain't got to buy no nail clipper for my new joint downtown. And then you get all of the washes, all of the scrubs, all of the AM, the PMs, and all of that stuff. So you got the whole thing inside of there for you to make sure you take care of yourself. But you got to make sure you take care of it every day, right? We don't want to miss days. We don't want to be looking like dusties. It does not absolve you from being able to make sure that you brush your teeth. Brush your teeth. It don't fix the teeth problem. Don't fix you ironing your clothes. Don't fix you being able to take care of your business. But it absolutely makes sure that your skin is phenomenal, even when you're going between shaves. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Tiege Hanley. We absolutely appreciate you. Thank you for continuing to hold us down. I might do an official Tiege commercial, but I like just talking authentically to the people. I like giving the people the authentic look of what it is that you're dealing with, and I want you to hear from me personally. Because anybody can do that little pitch and they can make some little videos, but very few of us can actually speak to the products of exactly what it is that you're supposed to use. So yeah, Tiege Hanley, 30% off your first order and then 20% off for life. That's the Anton Daniels pack, 20% off for life. Using any other Tiege pack, make sure that you go ahead and let that go. And make sure you tap into the link that's in the description and take care of it, all right? What's going on? Is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. It is Wednesday, August 21st, 2024, year of our Lord. You could be anywhere else, listening to anything else, but you are here with me, and I absolutely appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for rocking out with me. Thank you for adding value into my life. And thank you for being a part of the Millionaire Morning Show. Thank you for also rocking out with the Anton Daniels channel. And also thank you for rocking out with After Hours A special shout out to my bag chasers. You guys are absolutely awesome. I appreciate you guys. You are the most coveted, MVP laden group of people that I've ever seen in my entire life. So thank you to you guys also. I'm feeling good today. But I'll go more into that a little bit later on today. We got a whole show for y'all. Which includes both Barack and Michelle's speeches. I dropped a video this morning where I kind of talked about how black women and people in general, a lot of America actually wish that it was Michelle Obama instead of Kamala Harris running for president of the United States of America, and that the Democrats would probably have even better chance of winning and getting themselves back into the White House again if Barack and Michelle was running, because we know that Barack is probably still running the White House right now. But neither here nor there. We're definitely going to get into it. What's up, friends? I see y'all inside of the chat. How y'all feeling this morning? Everybody feeling good? Y'all ready to go over their speeches? Y'all ready to get into it? We got a full show for y'all today. So lock in for the next 2 hours. And I guarantee you, it is going to be one of the best morning shows on earth. I just want to make sure that I tell y'all I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure that you get that Tiege Hanley. They are the sponsor of the show. Link is in the description. Ladies, get it for the fellas. Fellas, don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. It is 40%. I think y'all missing it. When Tiege first started sponsoring us, and they started having conversations with us, they said, Anton, it's a great product. People just love it. But they've decided to do some great things. And not only that, they said that we're going to give you 40% off and then 20% off for life. So if y'all not a part of the Tiege pack, then make sure you get into the Tiege family and get that. Don't be looking dusty. I had to have a conversation with somebody on After Hours last night about being dusty. After he got off, I sent them the link. I said, man, and make sure you get you some Tiege. Cut your hair, brush your teeth, and get that Tiege pack, all right? We had that conversation last night. A lot of y'all, Quentin was there. Quentin seen me having a conversation with old boy. I said, man, get that Tiege pack, bro. So please don't be a dusty. Don't come up on my panel talking about I'm no longer a dusty, but I ain't got the Tiege. Get the Tiege, all right? And then in addition to that, journey to 10K. We absolutely think that y'all should join the Patreon if and only if you want to rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. So shout out to all of the chasers. Shout out to all of the people that are successful on that front. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Let me just acknowledge a couple people on Cash App, and then I want to acknowledge the first super chat of the day. And y'all, listen. Before I get into that, before I even start acknowledging people, y'all gotta stop randoms. These randoms is wild on Cash App. Now y'all think that y'all got smart, and so you're gonna ask me for $20 instead of $1,500. These randoms, we gotta stop it, man. If you are a grown man, honest to God, I will block you immediately. If you are a grown man, some grown random just hit me up and saying, hey, can you send me some money? No, bruh, you a grown man, dog. Y'all making me bitter towards people that I contribute to on a regular basis. I stopped in Greektown yesterday because I went inside of Astoria, which is one of my favorite bakeries. And I went in Astoria because, I know all of the people there and they look out for me. And I seen this white man that was out there, and he couldn't have been no older than like 26, 27 years old, standing out there with a sign. Sir, can you please help me? I asked him, and I just wanted to make sure, because I always he was a young white man. I always like to make sure that I contribute to the people. And if somebody asks me for something, I usually give it to them. And I said, what's wrong, bro? You got, a disability. I asked him, I said, you got a disability or something like that? I'm just down on my, man, if you don't get up and go and get a job, they got a sign out there right now that says hiring cooks, bus, servers, all of that. Go and get you a job, bruh. Then he act like he gonna walk away. I drove away. I went around the block just to see what the play was, and he's standing right back out there with the same sign looking out there. And I just drove by him. I just looked at it. Man, listen, bro. Y'all men, y'all grown men, y'all got to get it together, bro. Seriously. I know we all got problems. We all got things that's going on I got stuff going on in my life too. Despite the fact that you see me every single morning, and despite the fact that we having this conversation right here today, I promise you, life's for everybody. Everybody got problems. Some of us just decide not to lay down on our stomachs. Some of us decide once we get knocked down, we just want to get back up. That's it. That's all there's to it. Get up. Just get up and learn from your mistake and do it again. You a dope fiend? Okay, man, listen, at some point you're going to have to kick the dope. You a fat girl? At some point you're going to have to lose some weight. I was looking at a video of somebody that I reacted to, and somebody sent me the video on my email, and she had weighed 330, 380 or something like that. It was something crazy. And it's like, oh man, I don't have no job. I don't have no money. And I'm 3'8", 330 or some crap. Like, it was something like 330 or whatever. I said, man, ain't that what Shaq weighed? Shaq like 7'2". Like, okay, I get it. You go through things happen, get up and actually participate in society and stop being a burden on everybody else. We all got problems. You know what I'm saying? We all got things that happen to us. Life be happening. People be dying around you and all of that stuff. Okay, so what you gonna do? You just gonna lay up and die? Get up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Stop sending me Cash App requests and I don't know you, man. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you. That junk, you're right, Frank White. That junk was cute as a kid. That's not cute now. It's not cute no more. So I got to get up and I got to grind. You got to get up. You got to grind. We all got to figure it out. At the end of the day, no matter what happens in life, you still got to make adjustments and you got to do what you got to do. So let's get to it. Let me acknowledge a couple of the Cash Apps. ESDC, I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for supporting the platform. Mike That Dude is always here. Let me give Mike That Dude a round of applause. I got to support. I got to show love to Mike That Dude. Also want to give an acknowledgement to one of my co-hosts, Quentin. Quentin says, Blackity Blacks Unite. Quentin is in the building. Thank you, Quentin, for making sure that we hold the Blackity Blacks down. And then I also want to give an acknowledgement to a couple of other people before we get started with the show. What is this? What is this? Is this pause? Is this pause? Oh, no, it's not pause. Okay, we here. But it seems like it's slow. It's showing the stuff slow. I don't know what that is. J Dubs is in the building and says, good morning, AD and the Chasers. Forgive me if you've covered this, but did you see the story about the councilwoman Angelique Lee? No, what happened with Angelique Lee? Angelique Yee. What happened to Angelique Yee? I'm not familiar with it. Send it to me in an email. I appreciate you and God bless you too, my friend. What happened with the Angelique Yee? I don't know what that is. Anyway, so y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? We got a long show before us, it looks like, because we got to go through these speeches. I did see a little bit of the snippets on X of some of Michelle Obama's speech. So let's get to it. Carmen says I'm ready. No, I just work. That's all it is. I'm no different than anybody else. I just work. A.R. Smitty says, and I know you from where? Elementary school? Talk about it. I don't be knowing these people. They just be sending me random requests. Getting my Cash App out of the description of the videos and then going from there. Creating weird accounts. You know what I'm saying? Grow up, man. It's time to grind. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the show. Without further ado, I'll be reading Super Chats throughout the show. Again, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And let's get to it. What we got first? We got Quick Hits, y'all. Quick Hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think that we need to dedicate an entire segment to. But we definitely want to keep y'all in the loop of what's going on out in these streets. First things first. A girl was killed by a hit-and-run DUI driver, 17 years old in Oakland. Check it out.
Information tonight on a deadly crash along International Boulevard in East Oakland. Authorities say a 17-year-old girl was killed. Her mother injured. Tonight, one person is in custody and accused of driving drunk. KTVU crime reporter Henry Lee live tonight outside Oakland Police headquarters with the latest on the investigation. Henry?
Well, police say this is yet another case of a repeat DUI offender who chose to get behind the wheel again, this time with deadly results. And now a close-knit group of Guatemalan immigrants from Oakland is wrapping their arms around this family.
I'm feeling so sad because it's a bad news for us.
Shock and sadness after 17-year-old Mardenia Carrillo Lopez was killed and her mother injured by a hit-and-run driver in East Oakland. Pastor Hector Hugo is supporting the family, including the girl's father, who is from Guatemala.
For now, all of the people from this church, we stay with him, with his family for this bad time.
The crash happened when an alleged drunk driver in a red Chevy Impala hit Mardenia and her mother near 72nd and International at about...
Again, I say it all the time. The drunk drivers, they never die. They don't even have a scratch on them. They cars be mangled. The other person's car be mangled. They be flipped over, alcohol all over their breath and their body, and they just be walking around like a zombie. Nothing ever happens to the person that drives the car that kills somebody else. Everything happens to the person that is the victim. The victims are always the ones that suffer. I always be asking, and I'll be wondering to God, like, how come it's the victim that always suffer the most?
About 6:30 Tuesday night, Mardenia died at the scene. Her mother suffered injuries to her hand and shoulder, but the driver didn't stop. Instead, he ended up crashing into a tree in the center median blocks away. The Impala ended up near 84th and International. I've learned the suspect is 37-year-old Augusto Matias. He was arrested by Alameda County Sheriff's deputies and turned over to Oakland police.
Look at the other car. I think that's what, a PT Cruiser? Crazy.
Claro que sí, es lamentablemente para nosotros.
Pastor Hugo says the tragedy is a sobering reminder of the consequences of drinking and driving. The deadly crash has also renewed concerns that busy International Boulevard has been reduced to one lane of traffic, which some say has led to drivers using the bus-only lane and causing crashes.
It is very sad, you know, the city of Oakland hasn't done anything.
Crescencio Ramirez is founder of Radio Balang, which broadcasts in Maya Mam, a Mayan language spoken by the victim's family in Guatemala. He's been sharing news of the tragedy.
This is not the first accident. I've seen about 3 or 4 family members in the Mam community has passed away because of car crash.
The latest crash happened in Councilmember Kevin Jenkins' district. He says safety along International can be a challenge.
Absolute tragedy, right? Every time there's a loss of life, and for just someone so young with so much.
Somebody in the chat said, are we sure? No. They said something about, it said, is it an illegal immigrant? In this situation, I don't think it really matters. I don't think it really matters if it's an illegal immigrant or not. You should not be drinking and driving, and you should not be a repeat offender. This is one of those situations that you have to separate it from how we feel about people being over here illegally. And it didn't say anything about an illegal immigrant, so I can only go based off of the facts. The reality is that it's just a tragedy. It's something that should not happen. It's something that should not play out. And repeat offenders, somebody said in the chat also, are the worst. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a very sad and a bad situation. In addition to that, this one is something that I think a lot of people are familiar with and that they can relate to. Not the story itself, but the situation. A man was killed over a video game. So trash talk turned into tough talk turned into somebody losing their life, a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old losing their life over trash talk over a video game. Somebody was getting the best of somebody apparently, and then it ended in tragedy.
A 16-year-old was shot in the chest during an argument over a video game. Hello and good evening. I'm Steve Eager. The 35-year-old suspect is charged with murder. The shooting happened in Crowley, just south of Fort Worth. Fox 4's Dion Anglin is in Tarrant County with more on what happened. Dion.
Hi there. Well, the 35-year-old man is charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Police say he tried to hinder the investigation by doing away with his cell phone and the murder weapon. 35-year-old Devin Jones is charged with murder and tampering with evidence. Crowley police say he shot and killed a 16-year-old boy during an argument over a video game. Investigators say the victim is Tavion Swindell. Several social media posts by the teenager's family members include photos of him. and messages expressing outrage over the killing they call senseless. Court documents indicate the shooting happened Sunday at a home on Celeste Street in the suburban city south of Fort Worth. Jones and the teen victim were playing a video game. The affidavit says during the gameplay, words were exchanged, commonly associated with smack talking. The document states, as things continued to escalate, Jones indicated he needed to leave. That's when Tavion said, "I can't wait to play the game," and beat expletives. Jones responded, saying, "You can't even beat my expletive, little boy."
And what we all know, this is why I stay away from hood folks. This is why I stay away from this trash culture, because the way that they reading it is not how it went down. Dude got the best of me. And then he was like, "Yeah, man, and I can't wait to play again, and I'll beat your way again in this game." Smack talk. And then the dude was like, "Yeah, but you can't see me in real life, though. I bet you I'll beat you in real life, little." And he said, "Who can't? Who can't rock? Who can't get at you?" And then it just went south from there. It went from playing NBA 2K or Madden. Somebody said Street Fighter in there instead of saying good game. And see, this is why they started playing online, right? Because if you play online, you can't even get to the little kid, and the little kid can talk as much as you can. He gonna call you the N-word with the hard ER on the end of it, and you just gonna have to learn how to control yourself, or you just gonna have a whole bunch of broken remote controllers. I don't know how many broken remote controllers I've had in my lifetime when I used to play video games when Xbox Live first came out, because I don't know how many times that I've been called the N-word with the hard ER on there from some little kid, and I still couldn't beat him as a result of it. So I had to learn how to control myself. My anger was capped to whatever it was in the room that I was playing. So you can break your own stuff if you want to. You can break your own remote controller. I knew what not to break. You know what I'm saying? All right, because that one costs a little bit more, but I'm going to break this remote controller. All right, I'm going to have to go to Best Buy and get another remote controller. Go to Best Buy, get another remote controller. But I know one thing, when you around hood dudes, it's two things that you can't deal with or they can't deal with. They cannot deal with taking an L when it comes to gambling. And because if you taking their money and you talking to them at the same time, that's it. And they can't take an L in video games. It's crazy as it sounds. It's crazy as it sounds. This is all too often. Usually it just evolves into a skirmish. Dudes start scrapping, all of that, right? Shout out to K Cooper. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. Usually it evolves to scrapping or something like that. Nowadays, every once in a while, you'll get something that come across the news where somebody took their L, they humiliated, they feeling some type of way about it, and then they crash out. In this situation, he decided that he wanted to go and take a 16-year-old's life. It's messed up, bro. It's messed up.
And Tavion replied, "Who can't?" At that point, the investigator says Jones pulled a gun out and placed it against Tavion's chest, and the firearm discharged, striking Tavion in the chest. He died despite first responders' efforts to save him. The affidavit states there was a witness at the home, and after the shooting, Crowley police posted on social media a photo of a car they said was connected to Jones. They also used other tools in their search for the Lincoln Town car.
Rest in peace to the young 16-year-old. Throw this dude under the jail, the 35-year-old that couldn't control himself. But like I said, this is something that happens all too often in the hood. And then last but not least, this is something that y'all would find interesting. I'm curious as to what y'all think because chat lives matters. So a murder suspect fell asleep, and this is in Michigan. It actually happened in Highland Park. It's a city within a city. So Detroit got two cities within a city. It's like think of a circle, right? Think of a whole circle, and then put two little circles inside of it. The two little circles are Highland Park, and then the other circle is Hamtramck. Highland Park and Hamtramck. Two different cities, right? Two different cultures. Hamtramck, they don't have a whole lot of money, but it's a much, much better community. Highland Park is like the scum of the earth in a lot of places. But this man in particular, and the reason why I want to get y'all opinion on this is because this man in particular is going to trial because he wound up killing a transgender who apparently, and I actually reported on this a while ago, who apparently finessed him, right? So the idea was, I think that he went out on a date with somebody, a biological male, that said that they was basically a woman. And then he found out that the person was actually a man, a biological male with male parts, and he crashed out as a result of it. But he fell asleep during trial. I want to get y'all thoughts on this.
Today was the first day of testimony in the trial of a man accused of killing a transgender woman in Highland Park.
The proceedings ended abruptly when the defendant fell asleep. CBS News Detroit's Andres Gutierrez joins us from 30th District Court with what exactly happened in that courtroom.
Well, before this morning's proceedings got underway, the defendant, Carlos Scotland, was talking to his attorney, mouthing something to someone in the gallery. But once the first witness took the stand, well, he couldn't stay awake.
Mrs. Scotland, are you okay?
Many in the courtroom saw this as pure disrespect.
Is your client still awake?
Carlos Scotland dozing off as the lead investigator recounted the inconsistencies during his interrogation of the 18-year-old charged with the June 2023 murder of Asia Davis at the Woodward Inn.
Let me show the picture of the person that was hurt.
Charged with the June 20.
So, baby hairs, as Quentin would say, middle part bust down. Got all of the signs of what it is that I said last Monday night. Probably drove a Nissan Altima with no bumper on it. I'm not going to give you the meme. I'm not going to show you what that looks like. But, you know, a lot of people say, and I'm going to stop here. I'm going to play the rest of the video, but I'm going to say this right now. Looking at this picture. A lot of people say a lot of biological women are starting to look just like men and vice versa. The men are starting to look like the women and the women are starting to look like the men. So then when you see somebody with a middle part bust down with the baby hairs on the front and they pull up with earrings on and a Nissan Altima with no bumper, possibly you thinking that you just dealing with a regular person. You don't necessarily know that you dealing with a biological male, because in times of yesteryear, you used to be able to just instantly, oh no, that's a biological man right there. Look at the hands, look at that apple, Adam's apple, wear a size 13 shoe. You know, it's different. Now we're in an age where you might go out with somebody and they look just like the person that Quentin be describing with the middle part bust down. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not saying in any way, shape, or form that anybody ever needs to lose their life, because that's what we need to learn how to control ourselves. But what I am saying is that we can't tell the difference hardly no more, because everybody look the same. It's just a person. It's just a unisex. You go to the bathroom, they be having shapes on there. You don't know which one to go in. All of that, honest to God, you don't know no more. So anyways, let me show you what rest of happened during this particular trial.
2023 murder of Asia Davis at the Woodward Inn.
Did the defendants ever suggest that there was some type of altercation in the room?
Yes.
Okay. And when you look at that picture, sir, is there anything that would suggest there was a struggle or altercation in that room?
Not at all.
MSP Detective James Plummer says Scotland eventually admitted to shooting Davis.
And could you tell us, what did he say as it relates to that, sir?
That he, after the victim swung at him, that he shot the victim in the face or neck area.
Okay. And are you familiar with the medical examiner's report in this case, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And was the victim shot in the face or the neck, sir?
No.
In fact, where was she actually shot?
In the back of the head.
Literally in the back of the head at close range, correct?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So it means that it wasn't no struggle. You shot him in the back of the head. Here's the thing. Somebody said, what is up with Nissan Altima? I think the Nissan Altimas are a fine car. It's a good car. There's nothing wrong with a Nissan Altima. Just make sure it got a bumper. As long as you pulling up in a Nissan Altima and it got a bumper, we not going to have no problems. If you pull up in a Nissan Altima and it got super ball tires and the wires are sticking out of it and it don't got no bumper, then that means that you didn't have the middle part bust down starter kit. All right?
Did he ever correct that part of it?
No.
Scotland initially claimed it was all done in self-defense after she allegedly attacked him with a knife.
He initially said that he had took the knife and discarded it in a field. He then recanted that and said that the victim swung at him with a closed right fist while possessing a phone in the victim's left hand.
Okay. And did he ever say where the knife was that he claims was there?
He provided great detail initially, looking at a map as to where he discarded this knife before saying that there was no knife.
And just as the detective was getting into details about how Scotland and Davis ended up meeting that fateful night, Scotland's episode began. Eventually, his attorney told the judge another inmate allegedly slipped Scotland 3 pills before coming to court, causing the drowsiness and forcing the judge to adjourn for the day.
The defense always prolongs the thing. I don't know why they think it's in their best interest to prolong it or make it even longer when inevitably he was already found competent. So it's only a matter of time, but I'm very confident that Asia Davis.
Julissa Abad, Director of Transgender Advocacy and Outreach. See, listen. The only way that we can tell now is through the voice. The only way, and the teeth, because men's teeth tend to be bigger than women's teeth. We got bigger teeth. The teeth, you got to look at the small details nowadays. Honest to God. You cannot look at, because this person don't even have a middle part buzz down. This person don't have a middle part buzz down. You got to look at the teeth. You got to look at the little details, the ears. They got Wolverine ears or they got Martin Lawrence ears because women tend to not have big ears like men do. Do they got normal ears? You know what I'm saying? Is the teeth, is the voice? Because I already knew before they even showed it on the screen. I already knew before they even showed on the screen that, oh, wait a minute. This might be different. Honest to God. I knew before it. I started looking. I never seen this video before. Check it out. Listen, before they start talking.
It always prolongs the thing. I don't know why they think it's in their best interest.
Nope. Anybody that starts talking to you like that, and again, I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that anybody's life should be taken. But the minute that I start hearing a voice, I'll be like, nope. Don't even have to see you. We could do the blind test. The blind test is you blindfold me, you start talking to me, I can already tell what you are. I can tell whether you're short, tall, skinny, fat, man, woman pretending to be a man pretending to be a woman. I know it all. I can already see it. The minute that I know
Interest to prolong it or make it even longer when inevitably he was already found competent. So it's only a matter.
Yep. You never know. Without hearing the voice, you might think you talking to AOC. Hey, AOC, did you speak at the Democratic National Convention on the first day? Yes, no, maybe so. You might think you talking to AOC. Then they start talking. You almost got me on that one, big dog. You almost got me on that one. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is your quick hits. All right, let me, I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know why I am this way. God made me that way. Y'all said it's BOC? I don't know what, I don't know. I'm just looking at it like y'all. I'm just figuring it out. I'm saying the quiet part out loud. Let me read some of these super chats and see what's going on in these streets. Y'all don't get it? Y'all don't understand? J Dub says, sent the Angelique story to your email. All right, cool. Thank you. I'll try to check that out and see if it's something that I can review for tomorrow. Is that AOC? I don't know. Yoshi 504 says, drunk driver doesn't tense when hit, looks injured. Oh, okay. Yep, I can see that. Tack Smith in the building says, lost our 9-year-old son a year ago. There shouldn't be casket size for children. Tack. God bless you, man. Our hearts and our prayers is with you, big dog. God bless you. I hope you healing from that. K Cooper, I'm going to read that shortly. Lucid Experience in the building says, dude is 35 and crashing out over a game. Get a job. Facts, man. I'm not about to even be getting into no situation like that. Quentin says, 625 games into college football, no broken remote controls. Shout out to Quentin, my 2028 official emissary over to the 2028 Olympics. I'm telling you, we sending Quentin. JC says, egos without a cause, he's men boys. Shout out to that. Brittany B in the building says, shout out to Brittany B says, Now, where is that judge that got on that little girl that was sleeping in court? I salute to you, Anton, in the chat. Thank you, Brittany B. I appreciate you. Quentin says, date a baby mama if could not be a trans. Yeah, that's true. If you get you a baby mama, unless they Brittany Griner. Anthony Gordon says, Anton, you got to get the birth certificate with the footprint on it. Do they still do birth certificates with the baby's footprint on it? I thought that they just do the regular birth certificates now. Because I remember back in the day, it used to have the baby's foot on it, the birth certificate. It's different now, Anthony Gordon. You know what I'm saying? No Lames TV in the building says, got a 2016 Nissan Altima, got both bumpers on it. Shout out to you. Let me give a shout out to my rich friends before we get into this Michelle Obama and Barack Obama S show. Kay Cooper, my baby, been rocking with me for years now. Says, I hired a trainer for my daughter. He asked me who I was voting for. My daughter quickly said she likes Trump. He's a black man. He said, I like the way this guy Anton breaks it down. I said, wait, Anton Daniels? He said, yeah, him and his girlfriend both love AD. Ambrose, shout out to Ambrose in the building. Shout out to the ADAntonDaniels.com movement. We are going to take over the world. I'm telling you, let me tell you something. First of all, shout out to Kay Cooper. Shout out to the people that's starting to come together, that's starting to see things and put things together. It's people out here in these streets, they want to stop the movement, Kay. They want to stop the movement. It's people in these streets that want to stop the movement. Let me say this. Kay Cooper, thank you, my love. I appreciate you. I love y'all. Before we get into the Michelle Obama conversation, before we get into it, let me say this, y'all. And just give me 10 minutes. Just give me 10 minutes. I'll put my timer on to make sure that I only get 10 minutes. I love you guys. I genuinely, in my heart, love you guys. 1,000% with everything within me. Life's for everybody. Meaning that things happen in every single person's life, right? Some of you out there, you may be in a job that you don't want to be in and you've been in it too long and you're thinking, you know what? I need to get out of this, or I need to make a change with my life. Others of you may have been in a relationship and you saying, man, what is happening? Or maybe some of you have even outgrown the relationships that you're in. And I'm not talking about the person that you land next to. I'm also talking about your friends, your family, all of that. I will tell you that most of what you've been through, and not everything, because I know it's some people that had, some situations that I can't relate to, and it's other people that's had some situations that I absolutely can't relate to. But I often say that you can't be a 24-year-old life coach because you don't even know what life is yet. You don't even know what it feels like to be 30. You don't even know what it feels like to be 40. You don't know what it feels like to have a child. You don't know what it feels like to get a disappointing report from their school. You don't know what it feels like to have a lost parent or have somebody else, an extended family member, die, or to have to take care of your wife's mother, or any of that type of stuff. And I was never predicted to even live past 18 or 21 years old. I've told some of y'all that have taken this journey with me, and we're going to get into the Michelle Obama and the Barack Obama speeches in just a second. But every day that I'm alive, it's like points on the board. So I live with no regret, and I live with no reservation. Every day is the present. Every day is a present for me. And last night, you know what I'm saying? I got off of after hours and, it was some stuff that was going on. Like I said, life be lifing in everybody's life. It's a lot going on. People dying, family members, it's circumstances, and it's small stuff, it's big stuff, little trauma here, a little drama there. A brother over there pissed off a mama over here, whatever it is, right? And so I went to bed kind of disturbed, you know what I'm saying? But then I woke up this morning at peace. And when I was putting on my Tiege Hanley, because I actually do use the product, and I was putting on my Tiege Hanley, and, after I had got out of the shower and all of that stuff, and I brushed my teeth and I was getting ready to come in here to the studio, I realized that through it all, and through the ups and the downs, and to disassociate myself with certain people in order to move forward, and certain family members have turned on you, And, different things have happened in my life. At 42 years old, today, on August 21st, 2024, I am genuinely happy. I woke up this morning at peace. I have never been more free in my life. Yesterday it was crazy because as a man, and a lot of the guys in the chat can relate to this, and just rock with me for a second. A lot of the guys in the chat can relate to this. For most of us, and I'm talking about real men, I'm not talking about guys that's killing people over video games. I'm not talking about people that, is going to always be a leecher. For most of us, we spend the overwhelming majority of our entire lives living for other people. And so we don't have time to think about ourselves. Very rarely in my life have I ever had time to think about myself. And it's the same thing for my father. It's the same thing for my brothers. It's the same thing for my uncles. You don't really, as a man that is a traditional conservative man, your first 40 years, maybe even 50 if you're lucky, your first 40 to 50 years is for everybody else. It's to make sure that you get your kids through school. It's to make sure that if anything that was to ever happen to you, that the people that love you or the people that you support the most will be taken care of. It's, dedication and staying grinding and making sacrifices and doing this and that. And so you never get a chance to think for yourself. I mean, for a lot of y'all that's watching this right now, for Mother's Day, the mother gets celebrated. For Father's Day, he get a tie and some socks. I remember my father getting some very regular ass gifts, and he just rolled with it. He just rolled with the punches, and he never expected anything from anybody. And he always taught me that more was going to be expected from you than given to you. And that is the burden that comes with leadership. That is the burden that comes with being a real man. And so to get to a point in my life to where no matter what happens, I woke up this morning and I genuinely had a peace up over me. It was like a cloak of peace. It was like, it's okay. Like, the future is bright. I was talking to Michaela yesterday. Michaela Montgomery, a lot of y'all know her as the woman that went viral because she was at the Atlanta Trump rally. And she called me yesterday. And it's kind of like a big bro, little sis type of relationship at this point. And so we talked on the phone multiple different times. And I'll just give y'all a little bit of insight. So me and her, we're going to be doing some shows and we're going to be streaming. Our first stream is going to be next Wednesday, right? Not this Wednesday, not tonight. It's going to be next Wednesday. So we working together. And I was talking to her on the phone yesterday and I was chilling and I was in the studio and I was sitting in a chair and we was talking and she was telling me everything that she had going on and I was telling her everything that I had going on. And then I asked her a question, right? Because it was so refreshing to be in an environment and to have a conversation with somebody that was as intelligent as her that had such a bright future. And when you talk to people that surround you and around you, sometimes you can get dragged down because you realize that person, they don't really even care about their life. They're not even doing nothing. And this person, they just want to kind of keep you down and they keep being around you because they just familiar with you and they ain't even really rocking with you. And I was talking to Michaela yesterday and it helped me. She helped me because talking to a woman and I was talking to her and we was talking about the different things that we had going on and what our goals was and how we was putting our schedule together so we can work together and take care of each other. And I asked her a question and I said, what's your goals? Like, what's your ultimate goal? What's the end play for you? And I'm not going to divulge our conversation because that's between me and her. But she told me something and it was a big goal. And she actually laid it out for me as to how she could get there and that she was working on it and she wasn't slowing down and she was on top of it and she was incredibly intelligent and she's just as intelligent on the phone as she is, during these presentations and stuff like that. And I was like, and I just said it. I said, damn, Michaela, that's big. And the only thing that I could do, because she's pouring into me and I'm pouring into her, the only thing that I could ask her and that I could say to her was, all right, so how can I play a role in you getting there? And it's like a genuine friendship. And it's not that you have to know people for a long time, but you can actually discern between spirits. And it's like a freedom It's a peace that comes upon you that you realize that all of this time that you've been grinding your entire life was to get to this moment right here, right now, and the future is so bright. And now you can share it and you can enjoy it because the people that you align with, including the bag chasers, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon, link is in the description, including the bag chasers, they going that way. And it's no longer about survival. It's about thriving. And no matter what happens from here on out, I'm happy. I have never been more at peace and realized that happiness comes from within, so much so to where I just felt compelled to share this with you guys today. Man, I don't often talk about the conversations that I have behind the scenes with a lot of people and stuff like that. But what I'm saying to you today is that if you are the type of person that has made a tremendous amount of sacrifices, and I'm not saying that you haven't made mistakes along the way, I'm not saying that things have been perfect along the way, but what I am saying is that you deserve every good thing that you get because we often hold each other accountable and responsible for the things that we did. And I'm telling you that you still need to take accountability and responsibility for the things that you've done and the roles that you played in life. But at the same time, you are in a space right here, right now, where you are not defined by the place that you grew up in or the people that you surrounded yourself by. Your future is bright. Your future is beautiful. Your future is golden. And you have to grasp it. You got to embrace it. You got to understand that it's not about where you come from. You are not beholden to anybody, and you should not be loyal to trash and trash culture and people that's trying to bring you down and a crabs in a barrel mentality and spirit. And it's going to be a division between those that actually want better for themselves and those that are settling for whatever it is that somebody else is giving to them. And you're going to have to separate yourself. And at some point, it may even be a lonely journey. You know, for so many years in my life, honest to God, I always felt like I was by myself, even if I was surrounded by a bunch of people, because I was like, don't nobody even understand me. I'm here because I'm black, or I'm here because I'm family, or I'm here just because everybody, like they expect you to just eat barbecue chicken and watermelon every single day. Like I don't even care about it that much. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to taste something different. I want to see something different. I want to experience something different. I looked at the Bible a little bit differently. My interpretation of it was like, wow, that's a revelation. Y'all didn't get that? Y'all didn't see that? And so now I'm starting, and God is starting to open up my eyes and take me out of spaces and help me to understand, like, you know, it is other people that think like you, and it's other people that rock with you, and you don't have to be beholden to anybody over something that you can't control. It ain't because you was born black. You are not your race. You are not any of the things that you cannot control. You can't control where you was born. You can't control who your family was in the beginning. You can't control whether or not you had trauma. You can't control about whatever it is. But my father always said, and I'm going to tell you what he told me, and he beat this into me every single day with the words that was coming out of his mouth. Life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. I can control how I react to it. I ain't got to crash out just because you mad at me and you putting your standards on me and telling me that I'm supposed to react based off of what your standards was because you was raised in the hood. I'm not of you, because I've come out of that dark place and I decided that I'm going to take control of my own life. I'm going to take control of my own circumstances. I am not defined by the standards that you put on me. You ain't defined by the standards that your parents put on you. You ain't defined by the standards that the world put on you. You ain't defined by nothing except for the path that you set for yourself. And when you find your peace, when you find your niche, when you find your group, when you find your people, embrace it and rock with it and hold on to it and truly live in the moment. Truly live in the moment. I am so looking forward to the future. Even if the future is only for a week, I'm fully expecting to live till I'm 90 years old, but I'm so looking forward to the future. I've started being healthier. Even my DoorDash orders is different. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is small things, but it's meaningful to me. You know what I'm saying? You're ordering all salads and fruits and vegetables. I regularly make sure that I hit the gym every single day almost. Not some days I miss because I'm so busy, but most of the time I try to hit the gym every day and I feel good about it. The people that I'm surrounding myself with and I'm spending the majority of my time talking to, including y'all bag chasers, they got a better spirit. They got a greater outlook. They actually looking forward to the future. And instead of always talking about doom and gloom, and that junk will drag you down. It will drag your spirit down. Like when you around negative energy all day, it will absolutely kill what you have in there. And you just holding on by a glimmer of hope. And some of y'all are so mad. And some of y'all found me because you were so mad at some of the stuff I said because it upset the establishment that was established within you that told you that you're supposed to be a certain way. And you only had a glimmer of hope. And I tapped into it. It was a dude that called me last night and he said, Anton, I was upset when I first seen you, but I realized that you was just tapping into the thing that I didn't like about myself. It's a glimmer of hope in there. You still got a burning candle in there, bro. And life ain't over for you. I don't care what your baby mama did. I don't care what you did to her. I don't care what happened to you in your lifetime. I don't care who your father and your mother was. Your path and your way forward is beautiful. It's a beautiful story, bro. It is a beautiful story. And I'm telling you, you got to embrace it. You got to love it. You got to enjoy life. You got to dance like nobody is looking. For you content creators out there, stop worrying about what people think about you when you vlogging on the street and if anybody is watching you. Don't care. Don't care. Stop caring, especially when you know that your path is bright and forward. Stand strong in your convictions of righteousness. Stand strong in your conviction of having a better future. Stand strong in the thing that's actually going to benefit you. It's time to be selfish. For those of y'all that's raised y'all kids and they out the house and stuff like that, understand this. Hear me clearly. You lived your life for everybody else. I've been living my life for everybody else. My entire adult life has been for everybody else. And then I'll buy myself a little gift here and there, so on and so forth. But the overwhelming majority of everything that I've done up to this point has always been to make sure that everybody else is benefiting from me. And don't even look for appreciation. Don't even look for anybody to celebrate you. It ain't for them. Celebrate yourself. Now, today, August 21st on a Wednesday at 9:33 a.m. Eastern, today is the day that we now be selfish. We are going to be selfish and we're going to make sure that we live every single day like it's our last. Leave nothing on the table. Leave nothing to chance. No regrets. Everything you do, do it with purpose. Take care of your business, be on top of it, and then party harder than you worked. Work hard, party harder. That's the play. That's the play. That's what I'm living like. That's what my life is like. Today, from here on out, I don't care what happens around me. It is living every day in my purpose and like it's my last day on earth. And no, I don't want y'all to sit here and say, oh man, something must be wrong. No, everything is great. Everything is great. Health is good. Gym is great. Life is good. Daughter is doing well. I had a conversation with her last night because I was out at the place out in the suburbs last night. I was talking to my daughter, and the conversation that we was having was what college she was thinking about going to. She going into the 11th grade. I said, hey, baby, it's time for you to start thinking about college. Did you see that? Because I sent her a TikTok yesterday of all of the different colleges and what it is that you can experience. I said, where you want to go? Where you want to go? I want you to start thinking about college. I am going to build my dream home. I bought a plot of land. I am going to build my dream home for me. It's for me. I am going to make every wall custom according to my personality. I am going to build a guest house. So when people come and visit me, family members come and visit me, they can't stay in the big house. You got to stay in the guest house. You got to stay in the guest house. I am going to build a studio, a compound that is so beautiful simply because that's what I want. Now, at 42 going forward, it's about me. It's about what I want. That's it. I did it for everybody else. I made my sacrifices. I took my time. I took care of my daughter. I took care of my wife. I took care of everybody. Now going forward, it's about what's best for Anton. And you should be saying the same thing. If you made the sacrifices, then if you ain't there yet, let's be clear. If you still a person that's a dusty and you got a lot of work to do, then get to the point to where you can actually make that sacrifice and say, now it's for me. Get to the point where everybody else is taken care of. Take care of your kids. Be on top of things. Be responsible. Be accountable for the things that you've done in your life. Take ownership and responsibility, and then live the rest of your life the way that you want to. That's the goal. Let me go ahead and read some of these super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and get into this Michelle Obama speech. Let's rock, let's rock, let's rock. I am in my happy place. I am in a good space. I am filled with joy and filled with opportunity and love, man. I'm feeling absolutely phenomenal right now. Hank Woodmore says, salute AD, I'm from Shout out to my Pontiac people. out there in Oakland County. And this is really the first election that I've been paying close attention to. You give great takes and articulate really well. I'm in alignment with conservative ideologies. Shout out to Hank, man. I'm glad that you're becoming an informed voter, my friend. Ryan J is in the building, says you and Jesse Lee Peterson should meet up. It would be the craziest collab ever. You know what's so funny? I ran into Jesse Lee Peterson when I did the Dr. Phil show. I did Dr. Phil show when I ran into Jesse Lee Peterson. And me and him was talking and we was chopping it up, and I was chopping it up with him and his producer. And he was like, Anton, we got to get you on the show. Anton, we got to get you on the show. We exchanged information. We had been in touch, but for some reason we just kind of like got busy or whatever. So I don't know. Maybe I'll talk to him. Maybe I'll hit him up. I don't like to force things. I like the things to just be natural. Like if it happens, it happens. Jesse Lee Peterson is actually a cool guy. But A-Man01 says, good morning, AD. If it talks like a duck and walks like a duck, quack, quack. Quack, quack. Mr. Joe is in the building, says, showing love to the platform. God bless. Thank you, Mr. Joe. Raising Kingdom Kids says, my wife and I love your content. Being believers in Christ, we see the world so different. We are really planning on joining the... Shout out to Raising Kingdom Kids in the building. The Patreon link is in the description. I'm going to read that Chris James in a second. Saving you for last. Heather M says, but seek the first the kingdom of God. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and everything else will be added unto you. Matthew 6:33 blessings. That's one of my favorite scriptures. One of my favorite scriptures. Shout out to Heather M. I appreciate you. Mr. Exclusive. Shout out to Mr. Exclusive. I appreciate you, Josh. I appreciate you big time, big dog. Paul G says, thank you, Anton, for that 10-minute speech. Was a confirmation I needed. My future is bright. Yes, it is, bro. Hold on to it. No regrets, Black Beauty. No regrets, baby. Tia Maria's in the building, says, choose who you associate with wisely. If your circle does not support you, motivate you, or inspire you, it's not a circle, it's a cage. That's a word. I might steal that. I'm going to have to screenshot that. Skinny Boy Django Morrison says, you haven't talked about Tiffany Henyard yet. Just checking. I don't want to talk about Tiffany yet because she ain't nothing that I need to talk about. Blaze Skywalker says, bro, been with you since day one. Shout out to my day one dog. Been making over 150,000 the last 3 years, been living below my means, but damn, bro, I want to get a nice whip now. Not necessarily asking, but following your lead. Follow me. I'm going to lead you to the promised land, big dog. Melvin Johnson in the building says, thank you for shifting the mindsets of the great bag chasing community on my way to 10K. Shout out to you, Melvin Johnson. Grayway says, good morning, AD. Why you always call this trash culture trash? This trash culture isn't trash. It's premium, top shelf trash. Shout out to the Gray Way. Darius Davenport is in the building and says, I am more than the D. Shout outs to Darius Davenport. Also want to give a shout out to my dog, Chris James, my rich friend. Chris James also says, man, I thought I was all that and a bag of potato chips, but my old age of 31, man, you got so much life to live. Love seeing those who are better. That means I have a ways to go. I love improving. Thank you, AD, being a virtual big brother. No, man, you my bro in real life. You are my bro in real life. Thank you, man, for always supporting the platform and holding me down. I also want to say shout out to Frank White. Frank White says, born day today. Hey, man, happy birthday to Frank White. And thank you for continuing to support the platform. Says, looking for change. Hold me down, looking to get up. And appreciate your words for real. Thank you. And happy birthday to Frank White and Chris James, my rich friends. Also want to give a shout out to Whitney from Houston. Shout out to Whitney, says, thank you for all that you doing, amazing content. Whitney, I can't wait to meet you from Houston. Bam Bam Lynch says, sent you an email about the boxing gym. Thanks. All right, Bam Bam, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all get the likes up. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Let's continue to rock out with the show. So, getting into the thick of things, Michelle Obama decided that she wanted to give her speech. Michelle Obama was the star among stars, according to the Democratic Party. And I watched a couple of clips. I watched probably like a minute and a half worth of clips on X yesterday of the crowd just falling in love. And oh my God, they were crying. Oh, Jesus, it's Michelle. Yo, I thought that Michael Jackson had entered the arena. The way, thank you, Bodega Chew, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. The way that they was admonishing Michelle Obama, I said, this woman must have done something more then changed school lunches to something that the kids didn't even actually want. Thank you, Chris Monroe. Thank you, Snap Text Fix. Reading those super chats, those cash apps. I said this woman had to do more than just school lunch. What is it? And I'm asking this question, honest to God. What is it about Michelle Obama as we go through her Democratic National Convention speech? What is it, ladies? Because it's mostly ladies that be crying. I've seen some men over there looking like they was falling out, but they looked a little sassy. They looked a little zesty. What is it about Michelle Obama that you guys absolutely love so much? Anyways, let's go ahead and get into the speech. I love you. I appreciate y'all. Again, hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of people in here, but I don't see people hitting the like for the algorithm. Let's get into it, y'all.
Please welcome former First Lady Michelle Obama.
Who's running for president right now? Is it Kamala Harris or is it Michelle Obama? I've never seen Kamala Harris at any of her rallies, even when she showed up to the Democratic National Convention. They didn't give Joe Biden this type of ovation. I'm trying to figure out who's running for president. Honest to God, in my heart, I believe that Michelle Obama, regardless of whether you like her or not, because I don't have an opinion on her one way or another, right? Because she's never actually held public office, so that means nothing to me. I honestly believe in my heart that Michelle Obama is the candidate that Democrats wish Kamala Harris was. It's the candidate that Kamala Harris or that the Democrats wish Kamala Harris was.
Okay. We got a big night ahead. Thank you all so much.
All right, so and this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to set the standard. Again, I don't censor people, and I don't want to censor people, and I'm not going to censor people as long as y'all not being overly disrespectful to me. But let me say this, y'all. Y'all got to lay off the transformer accusations. Like, you can't. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like, ad hominem attacks for somebody that never ran or had public office is crazy. She looked just like y'all aunties and y'all mamas and your grandmamas and y'all girlfriends. Let's just be real. Michelle Obama looks just like y'all aunties and y'all grandmamas. So come on, man. Come on, bro. Let's not do that. But let's criticize and evaluate and analyze what she says at the Democratic National Convention instead of attacking her personally. All right? Look at these people.
Hello, Chicago. Yeah. All right. Something wonderfully magical is in the air, isn't it?
I'm going to speed this up to 1.25.
You know, we're feeling it here in this arena, but it's spreading all across this country we love. A familiar feeling that's been buried too deep for far too long. You know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm saying? Look at my man in the audience. He about to cry.
It's the contagious power of hope.
Oh, brother, here we go again. It's the same message. Y'all do realize, and I'm a compare and contrast because, see, I've been told this message before, and some of y'all wasn't outside during this time. You didn't participate in the election process. You didn't really understand the speeches. Hope is the same message that Obama sold when he was running for president. He ran on the message of hope, and it worked. It worked, and they're using the same blueprint that they did with Obama. They're using it during Kamala Harris's nomination at the Democratic National Convention for president of the United States of America. They're using the same message. It's hope, 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 hope. Whoever the speechwriters was for Obama back then is using the same speechwriters for Michelle Obama during this election.
The anticipation, the energy, the exhilaration of once again being on the cusp of a brighter day. The chance to vanquish the demons of fear, division, and hate that have consumed us and continue pursuing the unfinished promise of this great nation, the dream that our parents and grandparents fought and died and sacrificed for. America, hope is making a comeback.
I will give her this, y'all. And again, we're going to deep dive into this speech. I have not watched the full speech. I will give her this. She knows how to articulate herself incredibly well. That's just a fact. Like, if we're going to be objective about this, when I listen to Kamala Harris speak, because Michelle Obama is not running for president of the United States of America yet. When I listen to Kamala Harris speak, she sounds like a box of rocks. She sounds like the dumb bimbo that was promoted and given her job based off of what it is that she did outside of what she did on the job. Honest to God, Michelle Obama, for all of the things that we can criticize Obama for and whatever it is that you want to criticize her for, you cannot deny that she knows how to articulate herself well. Doesn't mean that she would have good policy. Doesn't mean that she's on the right side of the fence. Doesn't mean that she's actually good at whatever it is that she got going on. She knows how to articulate herself and converse well. If you compare her to a Kamala Harris, it's like night and day, which is one of the reasons why they want her to speak at the convention versus a Hillary Clinton.
To be honest, I am realizing that until recently, I have mourned the dimming of that hope. And maybe you've experienced the same feelings, that deep pit in my stomach, a palpable sense of dread about the future. And for me, that mourning has also been mixed with my own personal grief. The last time I was here in my hometown was to memorialize my mother, the woman who showed me the meaning of hard work and humility and decency, the woman who set my moral compass high and showed me the power of my own voice. Folks,
she got that crazy rock on her hand. Hold on, let me back that up.
And showed me the power of...
They must have really been getting to the money. Them Netflix documentaries is doing numbers. Them book sales is popping. She got that crazy rock on her left finger looking like blood diamonds. Give us free. Wouldn't mind that out for her.
Of my own voice. Folks,
it's amazing how you get super rich as being a president's wife.
I still feel her loss so profoundly. I wasn't even sure if I'd be steady enough to stand before you tonight, but my heart compelled me to be here because of the sense of duty that I feel to honor her memory.
I want y'all to be objective and evaluate what she says, and let's analyze that. Only focus on the speech. Let's focus on the speech, and let's tie it into the things that she says or she does, or the history of this country, or how he ran the United States of America, or if she's lying about Donald Trump. Let's focus 100%. Let's practice being objective.
And to remind us all not to squander the sacrifices our elders made to give us a better future. You see, my mom, in her steady, quiet way, lived out that striving sense of hope every single day of her life. She believed that all children, all people have value, that anyone can succeed if given the opportunity. She and my father didn't aspire to be wealthy. In fact, they were suspicious of folks who took more than they needed. They understood that it wasn't enough for their kids to thrive if everyone else around us was drowning. So my mother volunteered at the local school. She always looked out for the other kids on the block. She was glad to do.
Y'all, Lisa said playing on emotions. I agree. But guess what? It's a phenomenal strategy. If you want to galvanize people, if you're trying to get people engaged, especially if you're speaking to a ignorant people, right? Meaning that people that are not informed on policy, and if the goal is to galvanize a group of people to then get motivated to push themselves to the polls, especially when they are not informed on what is best and what's not best for the country. Most people don't even have any ability to manage their own budget. How are they going to have a conversation based off of economic policy, which is where you and I come in and we start breaking it down line by line and helping you to understand that our lived experiences is what then galvanizes, or it helps you to understand why this policy is good, why this policy is bad. And so she's great for the Democratic Party, not necessarily for the country, because the person that she's stomping for is Kamala Harris, who is absolutely trash. But when we analyzing this, we're analyzing this objective. That's why we can't go into ad hominem attacks. When you resort to ad hominem attacks, you actually take away from the conversation intelligently, because we're not able to break down exactly what she's doing and why she's doing it. Yes, this is bad for the country, but it's great for the Democratic Party, who wants to try to win an election. So looking at it objectively, we have to remove our emotions from it and how we feel about the person so that we can have an objective analyzation of what is happening. Pay attention, y'all. Ad hominem attacks are weak. Ad hominem attacks are for the weak. We need to break this down and show you why you cannot be galvanized by hope and great speeches, even if they saying that her speech is great. And let's look at it and evaluate if it's great or not, so that we can then break through it and try to mine through, and we can help educate people on whether or not these are facts, these are fiction, you just feeling good, you haven't seen her in a long time, this is what their strategy is. Come on, man. Focus, focus, focus. No ad hominem attacks. Just focus. All right?
The thankless, unglamorous work that for generations has strengthened the fabric of this nation. The belief that if you do unto others, if you love thy neighbor, if you work and scrape and sacrifice, it will pay off. If not for you, then maybe for your children or your grandchildren. You see, those values have been passed on through family farms and factory towns, through tree-lined streets and crowded tenements, through prayer groups and National Guard units and social studies classrooms. Those were the values my mother poured into me until her very last breath. Kamala Harris and I built our lives on those same foundational values.
BS. See? They play on your emotions. They draw you in. All of these good words and all of this stuff, because she can. I mean, I'm going to just give her credit. She can speak. And then she draw in and she put Kamala Harris into that conversation. Nobody was thinking about Kamala Harris. Everybody is focused on her speech, and they forgot why they was there in the first place, and it's to make sure that they give Kamala Harris the nod. This is less about Kamala Harris and more about whoever it is that's standing on a podium. This is less about Kamala Harris and more about who's standing on the podium. This just shows you that Kamala Harris is 100% a DEI hire. She was given to you. She is not anything that anybody wanted in the first place.
Even though our mothers grew up an ocean apart, they shared the same belief in the promise of this country. That's why her mother moved here from India at 19. It's why she taught Kamala about justice, about the obligation to lift others up, about our responsibility to give more than we take. She'd often tell her daughter, don't sit around and complain about things, do something. So, with that voice in her head, Kamala went out and she worked hard in school, graduating from an HBCU, earning her law degree at a state school. And then she went on to work for the people, fighting to hold lawbreakers accountable, strengthening the rule of law, fighting to get folks better wages, cheaper prescription drugs, a good education, decent health care, child care, elder care. From a middle-class household, Kamala worked her way up to become Vice President of the United States of America.
All cap, 100% cap, 100% cap, 100% cap. Worked her way up to being Vice President of the United States of America. See, listen, no salacious speech, Nothing that you can ever say to me is ever going to convince me that this woman was not given to you. She didn't even have to win a primary. She didn't even have to win a primary. If you look at Tulsi Gabbard and what she did to her in 2019, you would have a completely different view and perspective of this. They was given to us. They stole this. They tried to have election interference with making man, listen, bro. No speech. Nothing that you can say is ever going to convince me differently. There's nothing that she can say, and there's no speaker that can get up here that can convince me that Kamala Harris is the best choice for the United States of America at all.
My girl, Kamala Harris, is more than ready for this moment. She is one of the most qualified people ever to seek the office of the presidency. And she is one of the most dignified. A tribute to her mother, to my mother, and to your mother too. The embodiment of the stories we tell ourselves about this country. Her story is your story. It's my story. It's the story of the vast majority of Americans trying to build a better life. Look, Kamala knows, like we do, that regardless of where you come from, what you look like, who you love, how you worship, or what's in your bank account, we all deserve the opportunity to build a decent life. All of our contributions deserve to be accepted and valued. Because no one has a monopoly on what it means to be an American. No one. Kamala has shown her allegiance to this nation, not by spewing anger and bitterness, but by living a life of service and always pushing the doors of opportunity open to others. She understands that most of us will never be afforded the grace of failing forward. We will never benefit from the affirmative action of generational wealth.
Here come the Trump attacks.
If we bankrupt a business or choke in a crisis, we don't get a second, third, or fourth chance. If things don't go our way, we don't have the luxury of whining or cheating others to get further ahead. No. We don't get to
look at this shit. I'm sorry. Sorry, shout out to the churches and the kids that's watching this.
Or cheating others to get further ahead. No.
What is happening right now? What is going on in the United States of America? I honestly, what is happening right now? Are y'all not concerned? Are y'all not concerned? Jesus Christ. We literally, in every sense of the word, we were living the best lives. From 2016 to 20, life was good. Life was good.
We don't get to change the rules, so we always win. If we see a mountain in front of us, we don't expect there to be an escalator waiting to take us to the top. No.
What does that even mean?
We put our heads down. We get to work. In America, we do something. And throughout her entire life, that's what we've seen from Kamala Harris. The steel of her spine, the steadiness of her upbringing, the honesty of her example, and yes.
What the hell is the steel of her spine?
The joy of her laughter and her light. It couldn't be more obvious. Of the two major candidates in this race, only Kamala Harris truly understands the unseen labor and unwavering commitment that has always made America great. Now, unfortunately, we know what comes next. We know folks are going to do everything they can to distort her truth.
Uh-oh, here come, hey, now she using the Eminem tactic? Is this the 8 Mile tactic? Is this the Eminem 8 Mile tactic? I am an Uncle Tom. I did live in the basement with my mom. and did F my girl. I'm still screaming F the free world. But I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school. Oh, is this the 8 Mile? And we know what's going to come next. They going to attack us, girl, but it's because we great and they nothing. Come on.
My husband and I sadly know a little something about this. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of 2 hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black.
Now we playing the black dog. They playing every single spade in the deck. They playing every single spade in the deck. They playing the 2 of spades, the 3 of spades. They came back. They hit you with because they wanted to make sure you ran out of spades, right? And because they got every spade in the deck, they hit you with the jack, the queen, the king, the ace, the little joker, the big joker. They playing they playing the race card. They played the hope card. They playing the victim card. They playing the he's out of touch, he's too rich card. They playing oh my God, we're middle class card. She came with a fully loaded clip. I'll be on that. I got a fully loaded clip. I got a fully loaded clip. I'll be on that. Now they're hitting them with the rape. They got the black people and the coloreds galvanized and they feeling good about themselves all of a sudden. Are we at a Missy concert or are we at the Democratic National Convention?
Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
They are literally just going crazy over it don't matter what she say, they gonna go crazy.
It's his same old con. His same old con. Doubling down on ugly, misogynistic, racist lies as a substitute for real ideas and solutions that will actually make people's lives better. Look, because cutting our health care, taking away our freedom to control our bodies, the freedom to be...
Let's be very clear. Taking away the freedom to control our bodies is a Planned Parenthood ban, multiple Planned Parenthood, and this is verified. I had to go and do my own research before I started having these conversations with y'all today. There are Planned Parenthood, because I want y'all to look at the difference between something that looks good, a speech that's crafted in a way that makes you feel galvanized and hopeful. So the reality is that at the Democratic National Convention, they have Planned Parenthood vans out there offering free services to men and women. Free services to both men and women. And that's what they define as the freedom to control your body. Does that also include what's happening over in California? Oh, you're not familiar with what's happening in California? The laws that Gavin Newsom just signed into legislation? You know, the ones where kids can go to school and they can identify as what they want, but it's restricted from the teachers and the actual governing body over those kids to be able to contact the parents and say, hey, man, your kid is identifying as a girl and they really a boy. They coming in here and they changing their clothes and they living in however way they want to live. They kissing in the girl's bathroom. That's what the freedom to control your body means. See, they're not going to say the A word or Planned Parenthood. They're going to say, and he wants to take away the freedom to control your body. Beware of beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, y'all.
Become a mother through IVF like I did. Those things are not going to improve the health outcomes of our wives, mothers, and daughters. Shutting down the Department of Education, banning our books, none of that will prepare.
Banning our books. Listen, y'all got to, and see, this is why it's so much better to be objective and to divert away from ad hominem attacks, because when you're educated and you're informed, you can start to break down these speeches and you get past all of the hoopla and the claps and the applauses and all of that stuff. None of that matters. When she says banning our books, there are books that should not be in the library. There are books that should not be teaching kids about gender affirmation and transformations and stuff that the parents does not authorize them to be able to be taught inside of the schools. Teach them math, science, and geography. They don't need to know about gender affirmation. When they say ban in our books, and this is how you know the devil is real. I'm just going to tell y'all for real. I know y'all love Michelle Obama. I think that she's a great orator. I think that she's phenomenal. She's educated, and she's the person that the Democratic Party won. But if we're looking at this objectively, and we can break down these speeches, and I'm going to go to Obama's speech next. That's up next. It says it right there at the bottom of the screen, right there. If we look at these speeches, they want to continue to pervert your children. Your children is at stake. The war isn't for you. The war is for your children. Obama's lasting legacy and the thing that he's advocating for the most today as a person that's probably helping to control the White House right now is what it is that your children is going to convert over to and what bathroom they can go into. Wake up, man. Get over your rock star. I love her. She wrote a book. She went on tour. She changed kids' school lunches. Get over that and start looking at the facts. It's easy to be distracted when you got a bunch of applauses and you can't deep dive into the context of what the speeches are. Forget the ad hominem attacks because it doesn't matter what we think about her. What matters is what she's saying to impact people to try to galvanize them to get to the polls to vote on something that's not in their best interest.
Our kids for the future. Demonizing our children for being who they are and loving who they love. Look, that doesn't make anybody's life better.
The likes is a little anemic. The likes is anemic. Harold Johnson says, Anton, I need that pink rabbit hoodie. Where can I get one? I got that in Japan, big dog. I got that in Tokyo. You got to travel to Tokyo to get that. The likes is anemic, y'all. Do y'all hear what these demons are saying? Look, man, I don't care how much you liked Obama. I don't care how much you like Michelle Obama. These people are preaching a demonic speech to y'all, and it sounds good. And the devil is not going to show y'all the devil. The devil is not going to take off his hood. The devil is not going to show you himself. He's going to present himself in a way that's appealing to you because you don't have to reject temptation from something that you don't like. These people are demonic. All of you liberals that's in the chat that don't like what I'm saying right now, think about your children. And think about your children as young children, as elementary school, middle school, and high school kids whose brains are not even fully developed yet. And then take this part of the speech and tell me that this makes sense for you.
Our kids for the future. Demonizing our children for being who they are and loving who they love. Look, that doesn't make anybody's life better.
Think about your children. Think about your children. Get over how you feel about the person and get over your party affiliation and your dedication to identity politics and think about your children and tell me in your heart of hearts that you think that this is best for America right now. At the end of the day, sit there and tell me that you think that this is what's best for America right now. Think about forget you. Think about your children and tell me that this makes sense for America. Y'all better be careful.
Instead, it only makes us small. And let me tell you this, going small is never the answer.
Let me get my
going small
I gotta get
is
comfortable.
the
This is gonna
opposite
be a
of
long
what
stream.
we teach our kids. Going small is petty, it's unhealthy, and quite frankly, it's unpresidential. So, why would any of us accept this from anyone seeking our highest office? Why would we normalize that type of backward leadership? Doing so only demeans and cheapens our politics. It only serves to further discourage good, big-hearted people from wanting to get involved at all. America, our parents taught us better than that, and we deserve so much better than that. That's why we must do everything in our power to elect two of those good, big-hearted people, there is no other choice than Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. No other choice. But as we embrace this renewed sense of hope, let us not forget the despair we have felt. Let us not forget what we are up against. Yes, Kamala and Tim are doing great now. We're loving it. They're packing arenas across the country. Folks are energized. We are feeling good. But remember, there are still so many people who are desperate for a different outcome, who are ready to question and criticize every move Kamala makes, who are eager to spread those lies, who don't want to vote for a woman, who will continue to prioritize building their wealth over ensuring that everyone has enough. So no matter how good we feel tonight or tomorrow or the next day, this is going to be an uphill battle. So folks, we cannot be our own worst enemies. No. See, because the minute something goes wrong, the minute a lie takes hold, folks, we cannot start wringing our hands. We cannot get a Goldilocks complex.
You mean like the lie that they continue to promote with Project 2025? I got you.
About whether everything is just right. And we cannot indulge our anxieties about whether this country will elect someone like Kamala instead of doing everything we can to get someone like Kamala elected. Kamala and Tim, they have lived amazing lives. And I am confident that they will lead with compassion, inclusion, and grace.
Inclusion.
They are still only human. They are not perfect. And like all of us, they will make mistakes. But luckily, y'all, this is not just on them. No, this is up to us, all of us, to be the solution that we seek. It's up to all of us to be the antidote to the darkness and division. Look, I don't care how you identify politically, whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, or none of the above. This is our time to stand up for what we know in our hearts is right. To stand up, not just for our basic freedoms, but for decency and humanity, for basic respect, dignity, and empathy, for the values at the very foundation of this democracy. It's up to us to remember what Kamala's mother told her. Don't just sit around and complain, do something. So if they lie about her, and they will, we've got to do something. If we see a bad poll, and we will, we got to put down that phone and do something. If we start feeling tired, if we start feeling that dread creeping back in, we got to pick ourselves up, throw water on our face, and what? We only have 2.5 months, y'all, to get this done. Only 11 weeks to make sure every single person we know is registered and has a voting plan. So we cannot afford for anyone America to sit on their hands and wait to be called. Don't complain if no one from the campaign has specifically reached out to you to ask you for your support. There is simply no time for that kind of foolishness.
Why is that an applause-worthy thing? All right, so we got the gist of the speech. There's no need to continue to go on this path. Here's my question, right? Why do they want your kids so bad? That's my main question, because that is the leg that they're standing on. They're standing on the fact of it's two things that the Democratic Party is basically hanging their hat on and they're hinging this on in order to win this election. And it's two things that absolutely bother my soul more than anything that has ever bothered my soul. Because look, we know that people is out here suffering. We know that they're getting laid off. We know that they can't afford groceries. We know that their rent is too high. We know that immigration is to this country. We beat that down, and we're going to continue to hammer that point down so that you don't forget what it is that you experienced over the last 3.5 years. But it's two things that bothers my soul. And they're trying to stand on this moral high ground. But the two things that they advocating for is the very things at your core as a person, as a human being, that we should not be advocating for. Why are they so gung-ho on letting people do some of the worst things to their body and participate in an abortion, as far as having the feds, the federal government participate in how it is that you control what's going on in your body and being responsible, accountable for who it is that you open up your legs to. And then 2, why they after your kids? Why is the Democratic Party after children so bad? I don't understand it. What is this obsession? They ain't got no other leg to stand on or no other thing to hang their hat on? Let me read the super chats, bro. And then we're going to go over to Barack Obama's speech and we're going to break that down. I don't understand that. Why the kids, though? Bodega Shoe says, good morning, Anton. Do you have any thoughts on the 1,700 AT&T workers on strike? We'll break that down tomorrow. I'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about the AT&T workers. They're going to be out of a job. Jamal Fowler, thank you for the 2-ball. I think they need to go back to work. That's what I think they need to do. Just quick thought, but we'll break it down tomorrow. Jeannie said, I thought Michelle's speech was going well, and then she mentioned kids should love who they want to love. Just lost me. Lost me 100%. Maurice Neal, shout out to you, says, guys, if Anton asks you to be on camera, it's a setup. It's not a true. Usually I ask people that want to be on camera if they on the stream for an extended period of time, and I can verify that they're not a troll. So that's not true. Philip Sadiq says they both give excellent speeches, yet look what they left behind on their own home city. Most of us can see through what was going on last night, and Chicago was in shambles. And they from Chicago, Philip. Don Wickler says the idolatry is real amongst the uninformed. Mr. Exclusive Josh in the building says, if I go to Costco, use Kamala H economics plan method for the U.S., which it'll pay for itself. That's facts. Get arrested for stealing. Will Kamala H pay my bill, or will need to tap into my emergency fund? Shaking my head, foolishness. Thanks, AD. Nope. You ain't got to worry about it, because depending on what city you live in, they got lax laws anyway. You'll be out tomorrow. You'll be out same day, big dog. No Lames TV says Michelle is a man. That's how she can. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Shout out to my girl sister, Mr. AD, for all of the complaints the Dems make about Trump returning the country to the past. The DNC sure resurrected past speeches and past presidents and past first ladies. That is a fact. That very well articulated, my girl sis. Forsaken Archive says Dems got black people in the friend zone. Broken promises will never put out. Put out what? Also says when the closing act becomes the opener. Ryan, don't worry, we get to the Obama part next. Ryan J says, Michelle said, love your neighbor. Nothing says love your neighbor like having a hotline and turn your neighbor if they're outside. Shout out to Walls. Yep, that's a fact. Stacy Galore is in the building. Shout out to Stacy, says, rest in peace to Joan Rivers 2 weeks after she said Michelle Obama is that. Rest in peace to the Obama chef, and rest in peace to Marion Robinson. Y'all said what y'all said. Rush King 19 says, it's crazy how people on the left all of a sudden love America during election season, but otherwise I hate America is racist. I hate it here. And we're going to get into that too. Call of a Man says we've had a Democrat president 12 out of the past 16 years, but all of our problems is Trump's fault. When emotions are high, intelligence is low. That's a good point. Juju, shout out to Juju, says, Anton working hard for that extra right wing bag. That's what he says. We read all super chats. We don't care. Stacy Galore's in the building, says the general public has to be spoon-fed transensuations to get everybody ready for transhumanism. That's one way to look at it. High Tolerance says she said what she said. No lines to read in between. JQ in the building. Shout out to Joe Q. Joe Q66 says IVF. First time some of us heard that. We need a deep dive as she positioned herself for the abortion debate on IVF. GS Everything _27 says, Anton, you were right. They had a rapper performing for the plantation slaves. Heather M, shout out to Heather M, says, and no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of the light. 2 Corinthians 11:14. Tia Marie 2 says, the fact that the most undeniably black woman has to sell Kamala's struggle should tell you something. The ignorance is the catalyst they use for free, and they're literally hiding the truth in plain sight. They ain't even hiding no more. They just giving it right to you. Anton, where's her East Indian people at? Rush King 19 says, I can see it now if they win. And they run the country into the ground and into more war and debt. They will still blame Trump for the next 8 years. Avenue 77 says California is only cleaning up the homeless people earlier because the Olympics is coming in 2028. Democrats ain't slick. The masked man says demonic dim doctrine is of the devil. Say that fast 3 times. Derek Perry says Obama, both of them, can kick rocks. They both support the Ninja Project, a.k.a. Planned Parenthood. And Libra Justice came through with the super chat, said it's all about population control, especially in the African nations. Thank you guys for continuing to hold me down and support the platform. I'll continue to read super chats throughout the show. But let's get into the next part of the show. Obama. Now, I haven't seen any of Obama's speech, but we're going to deep dive into it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it.
Please welcome America's 44th president and the love of my life, Barack Obama.
Got to be the smoothest dude that I ever seen in my entire life that ever ran for president. Policies was absolutely trash. Advocated for the alphabet community. That's his legacy. But this dude know how to smooth it out, don't he? Let me speed this up.
Hello, Chicago! Thank you.
I just don't understand the obsession with the Obamas. It's crazy. The obsession with these people is insane. America really loves this couple. Like, they really love them. No matter what they say, no matter how much they attack y'all kids, no matter what they give y'all, it's Obamas. It's crazy.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Nah, don't worry about it, Jack. Y'all applauding too much.
No, that's enough.
That's enough. That's enough. I don't want this applause. I don't want it.
It's good to be home. It is good to be home, and I don't know about you, but I'm feeling fired up. I am feeling ready to go. Even if I am the only person stupid enough to speak after Michelle Obama. I am feeling hopeful because this convention has always been pretty good to kids with funny names who believe in a country where anything is possible. Who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you and hears you and will get up every single day and fight for you.
Certainly ain't Biden. He going to bed at 8 p.m.
President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Hell no. Listen, there ain't nothing that you can do that's ever going to sell me on the idea that I need Kamala Harris in a situation room if we having a crisis or a problem or a country that's deciding that they want to go to war with another country. It ain't nothing that you going to ever tell me, nothing that you can say to me that'll ever tell me that Kamala Harris, hell no. Listen. Let's just think about this for a second. Honest to God, y'all. Come on, y'all. Let's put this together. Let's really put it in perspective and think about what we're doing right now. Let's think about it. Let's focus. Let's be mindful about what we're doing. Let's be careful about who it is that we align ourselves with. And let's not be dismayed. There's nothing that you can tell me that is ever going to convince me that this woman No way, no how will you ever convince me that Kamala Harris, that I'm going to sleep well at night, that my rights are protected, that our borders are secure, that the policy is great. And I'm going to get to the Obama speech, but I just got to really, really put this in perspective. I don't care how much they lie to me. Nothing that you will ever tell me is ever going to help me to understand or convince me that this woman needs to be at the helm of the United States of America. No way, no how. You can forget it, buddy. You can forget it, Barry. No, Barry. Not this time. Not this time. Not a third time. Fool me once, not a fourth time. Fool me twice, fool me 3 times with Biden at the helm? No, I'm not going, bro. I'm not going, man. I'm not going, bro.
It's been 16 years since I had the honor of accepting this party's nomination for president. And I know that's hard to believe because I have not aged a bit. But it's true. And looking back, I can say without question that my first big decision as your nominee turned out to be one of my best. And that was asking Joe Biden to serve by my side as vice president. Other than some common Irish blood, Joe and I come from different backgrounds, but we became brothers. And as we worked together for 8, sometimes pretty tough years, what I came to admire most about Joe wasn't just his smarts, his experience. It was his empathy.
I'm going to read y'all
and his
super text
decency
shortly.
And his hard-earned resilience, his unshakable belief that everyone in this country deserves a fair shot. And over the last 4 years, those are the values America has needed most. At a time when millions of our fellow citizens were sick and dying, we needed a leader with the character to put politics aside and do what was right. At a time when our economy was reeling, we needed a leader with the determination to drive what would become the world's strongest recovery. 15 million jobs, higher wages, lower health care costs. At a time when the other party had turned into a cult of personality, we needed a leader who was steady and brought people together and was selfless enough to do the rarest thing there is in politics, putting his own ambition aside for the sake of the country. History will remember Joe Biden as an outstanding president who defended democracy at a moment of great danger.
Lies. History will remember Joe Biden as the person that left the borders open and let his son come into the White House drunk and high at the same time. That's how they're going to remember Joe Biden.
And I am proud to call him my president, but I am even prouder to call him my friend. The torch has been passed. Now it is up to all of us to fight for the America we believe in. And make no mistake, it will be a fight. For all the incredible energy we've been able to generate over the last few weeks, for all the rallies and the memes, this will still be a tight race in a closely divided country. A country where too many Americans are still struggling, where a lot of Americans don't believe government can help. And as we gather here tonight, the people who will decide this election are asking a very simple question. Who will fight for me? Who's thinking about my future, about my children's future, about...
Maybe we should ask all of the immigrants that's getting all of the monies that's coming straight from the taxpayers about who they actually fighting for. That's all I'm saying, because this is a long speech, so I definitely want to get through it. I got it sped up, and I want to hear exactly what he has to say, but I just want y'all to actually be able to sort through the BS. Remember this as you listen to Barack Obama serenade y'all with this speech. Remember this. When Joe Biden decided that he was going to step down, and Kamala Harris decided that she was going to fight for the nomination that she was given, Barack and Michelle both withheld their endorsement of Kamala Harris and said that we should, as a nation and as Democrats, y'all should vet through to see and let them win their nomination at the Democratic National Convention and see who the other candidates are. They were the last ones to endorse Kamala Harris. Gavin Newsom, he was on board over there in California, right? Nancy Pelosi, they was all celebrating. AOC, they was, oh my God, yes, Kamala Harris, she's going to be the one. The Obamas, who they asked to speak, were the ones that they reserved their endorsement of Kamala Harris until the very last minute when everybody else was on the line and they had no other choice. They were the ones that withheld their endorsement of Kamala Harris. Remember that. Remember that. As they sit in here and they cake for y'all, remember that, okay?
Our future together. One thing is for certain, Donald Trump is not losing sleep over that question. Here's a 78-year-old billionaire who has not stopped whining about his problems since he rode down his golden escalator 9 years ago. It has been a constant stream of gripes and grievances that's actually been getting worse now that he's afraid of losing to Kamala. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. The other day I heard someone compare Trump to the neighbor who keeps running his leaf blower outside your window every minute of every day.
Did Obama become a comedian or something like that? Honestly, did Obama become a comedian? I'm trying to understand what this speech is about. He hasn't actually said anything that would galvanize his people and say that I don't believe that Obama even really wanted to be there. I believe that this is a requirement. You have to get up here. You got to bring your chick. She got to speak. You got to speak. And y'all got to actually galvanize the group, because I don't believe that most of America is really rocking with Kamala Harris. I don't.
Now, from a neighbor, that's exhausting. From a president, it's just dangerous. The truth is, Donald Trump sees power as nothing more than it means to his ends. He wants the middle class to pay the price for another huge tax cut that would mostly help him and his rich friends. He killed a bipartisan immigration deal written in part by one of the most conservative Republicans in Congress that would have helped secure our southern border, because he thought trying to actually solve the problem would hurt his campaign.
Nope, that's not true. What happened was, and again, this is why we have to be informed, because I see people that came on my panel and they be asking me that question, well, why did Trump and why did the Republicans kill the border deal? And again, for the 1900th time, is because they tied it to actually continuing to fund wars over in Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Republicans said that this should be a completely separate issue and it should not take bipartisan support for you guys to secure our borders when y'all over here suing Texas. But they leave out these details and they give them these speeches and these talking points, and they don't allow for you to actually do the deep dive. And this is why y'all have to be tuned into the greatest morning show on earth. Make sure y'all hit a like, and if y'all not subscribed, then shame on you. If you not subscribed to this morning show, shame on you. They did not want to tie funding to proxy wars into securing the border because they were all going to say, well, this is all about national security. That was the issue.
Do not boo. Vote. He doesn't seem to care if more women lose their reproductive freedom, since it won't affect his life.
More ad hominem attacks.
And
We
most of
already
all,
addressed
Donald
this.
Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them.
It is divided.
Between the
Righteousness,
real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't.
and the devil. Between righteousness and evil. That's what this is about. That's what this election is really about. This election is about the people that actually wants what's best for their children and their families, and the people that want to allow for the inmates to run the asylum. That's what this election is about. This is about whether or not we want to allow for them to put stuff inside of your schools, and you want to allow for Planned Parenthood vans to be outside of the Democratic National Convention, or if you actually think that it should go back into the state's hands and that the people should decide, as a republic, that the people should decide per state of what happens within their state. This is about whether or not you think that it's best for us to put money into Americans, or if you should leave the borders open in order to make sure that you take care of illegal immigrants that shouldn't be here in the first place, that you first cloaked as though you were looking at them as asylum seekers. Instead, you was actually just leaving the borders open for them to come in the first place. That's what this is really about. I don't trust the Obamas. I don't care how slick they talk. I don't care how good they speechwriters are. I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. At all. At all.
And he wants you to think that you'll be richer and safer if you will just give him the power to put those other people back in their place. It is one of the oldest tricks in politics from a guy whose act has, let's face it, gotten pretty stale. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know
it was great.
That the sequel is usually worse.
It was great. It was a great 4 years.
America's ready for
Look
a
at
new
Don
chapter.
Cheadle. Jesus Christ.
America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
He don't even believe that. He's saying it and he don't even believe it. He didn't even say it
And
convincingly.
Kamala Harris is ready for the job. This is a person who has spent her life fighting on behalf of people who need a voice and a champion. As you heard from Michelle, Kamala was not born into privilege. She had to work for what she's got. And she actually cares about what other people are going through. She's not the neighbor running the league.
Is that what our record says as the district attorney over in San Francisco?
She's the neighbor rushing over to help when you need a hand. As a prosecutor, Kamala stood up for children who had been victims of sexual abuse. As an attorney general of the most populous state in the country, she fought big banks and for.
So now you know who in the crowd. It's a whole bunch of Californians that went over to Chicago in order to cheer for the Obamas when their speeches.
Profit colleges, securing billions of dollars for the people they had scammed. After the home mortgage crisis, she pushed me and my administration hard to make sure homeowners got a fair settlement. Didn't matter that I was a Democrat. Didn't matter that she had knocked on doors for my campaign in Iowa. She was going to fight to get as much relief as possible for the families who deserved it. As vice president, she helped take on the drug companies to cap the cost of insulin, lower the cost of health care, give families with kids a tax cut. And she is running.
So what they basically telling us is that she was the one that was at the helm of what was going on in the Biden administration. So we should also associate all of the L's that we took as a country to her, right? Because we've all been trying to figure out who's been running the White House. Has it been Kamala Harris or is it Joe Biden? So what they're basically telling you is that she is the one that should be taking credit for everything that happened over the last 3.5 years. Remember that, okay?
For president with real plans to lower costs even more and protect Medicare and Medicaid and sign a law to guarantee every woman's right to make her own health care decisions. In other words, Kamala Harris won't be focused on her problems. She'll be focused on yours. As president, she won't just cater to her own supporters and punish those who refuse to kiss the ring or bend the knee. She'll work on behalf of every American. That's who Kamala is.
Cap.
And in the White House, she will have an outstanding partner in Governor Tim Walz.
Shout out to Tampon Tim.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I love this guy. Tim is the kind of person who should be in politics.
Hey, how convincing was that? Of all of the things and all of the different speeches that Obama has given, this is probably the least convincing speech. It almost looked like they put a gun to his head and said, listen, man, you got to come out here and you got to give a speech and you got to actually try to make it sound as convincing as possible. Oh, okay. Hey, listen, Tim, I love this guy. Stop it, bruh. Stop it. That was the least convincing endorsement of a politician that I've ever seen in my entire life from this administration. Stop, bro. Stop, man.
Born in a small town, served his country, taught kids, coached football, took care of his neighbors. He knows who he is, and he knows what's important. You can tell those flannel shirts he wears don't come from some political consultant. They come from his closet, and they have been through some stuff. They have been through some stuff. That's right.
Reading Super Chat shortly. I don't know how much more we're going to do with this.
Kamala and Tim have kept faith with America's central story. A story that says we are all created equal. All of us endowed with certain inalienable rights, that everyone deserves a chance, that even when we don't agree with each other, we can find a way to live with each other. That's Kamala's vision. That's Tim's vision. That's the Democratic Party's vision.
Cap.
And our job over the next 11 weeks is to convince as many people as possible to vote for that vision. Now, it won't be easy. The other side knows. It's easier to play on people's fears and cynicism, always has been. They will tell you that government is inherently corrupt, that sacrifice and generosity are for suckers. And since the game is rigged, it's okay to take what you want and just look after your own. That's the easy path. We have a different task. Our job is to convince people that democracy can actually deliver. And in doing that, we can't just point to what we've already accomplished. We can't just rely on the ideas of the past. We need to chart a new way forward.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. I can't believe that I'm about to say this. This speech is boring. They should have had flip-flopped it. They should have had Obama go first and then Michelle Obama go last, because we know that they want her to run for president in the first place. Honest to God, I just went on here and I paid my electric bill. While I was sitting here listening to this speech, it's so unconvincing, it's so fake, it's such a fake endorsement and a go along, get along game. This speech is boring. Honest to God. I literally just went and paid my electric bill while he was telling this speech. Y'all said no, it's not? Y'all want to hear some more? Okay. Let's see if we can get something out of this.
To meet the challenges of today. And Kamala understands this. She knows, for example, that if we want to make it easier for more young people to buy a home, we need to build more units and clear away some of the outdated laws and regulations that made it harder to build homes for working people in this country. That is a priority, and she's put out a bold new plan to do just that. On health care, we should all be proud of the enormous progress that we've made through the Affordable Care Act, providing millions of people access to...
They said I'm multitasking. Yeah, I really needed to pay my electric bill. I paid it early. It's not even due yet. I paid it early. I'm just multitasking.
Affordable coverage, protecting millions more from unscrupulous insurance practices.
He's not even saying nothing that he wrote himself or that he believed. You can tell by the way he's saying it. Listen, I'm going to slow it down to the normal speech. Listen to this.
Protecting millions more from unscrupulous insurance practices.
That's convincing to you? Is that... Come on, man, look. I give Obama credit. I think that he's a great orator. I think that he inherited one of the worst economies from one of the worst presidents in my lifetime, in Bush II. I'm not a fan of Bush II. I'm not a fan of just the Republican Party itself. But what he's saying is not convincing at all. Objectively, come on, y'all. He don't even believe in the stuff that he's saying right now. Listen to how he's saying it and what he's saying. Y'all got to start to read and look in between the context clues. Listen to what he's saying, and you tell me that if somebody is telling you this and they got the teleprompter in front of them, that this is convincing to you. Listen to it.
Protecting millions more from unscrupulous insurance practices.
Let's listen to more. This is what y'all want. I give the people what they want. Chat lives matters. This is what y'all want to be convinced? Okay, let them convince you.
I noticed, by the way, that since it's become popular, they don't call it Obamacare no more.
More jokes. More jokes.
Kamala knows we can't stop there, which is why she'll keep working to limit out-of-pocket costs. Kamala knows that if we want to help people get ahead, we need to put a college degree within reach of more Americans. But she also knows college shouldn't be the only ticket to the middle class. We need to follow the lead of governors like
Oh, God. What is happening in this lifetime? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Why is she crying? Why is she crying? Why is she crying? What the hell is happening? Jesus Christ.
Tim Walz, who said, if you've got the skills and the drive, you shouldn't need a degree to work for state government. And in this new economy, we need a president who actually cares about the millions of people all across this country who wake up every single day to do the essential, often thankless work, to care for our sick, to clean our streets, to deliver our packages. We need a president who will stand up for their right to bargain for better wages and working conditions. And Kamala will be that president. Yes, she can. Yes, she can. A Harris-Walz administration can help us move past some of the tired old debates that keep stifling progress. Because at their core, Kamala and Tim understand that when everybody gets a fair shot, we are all better off. They understand that when every child gets a good education, the whole economy gets stronger. When women are paid the same as men for doing the same job, all families benefit.
So you Derek Jackson now? You Derek Jackson now, Obama? Okay, I got it.
They understand that we can secure our borders without tearing kids away from their parents.
That's what you did. That's what you did. Oh. For the people in the back, let me play that part again, because I want y'all to really understand what you're dealing with. Come on, y'all. Come on. What is happening right now? What is going on? That's why they called him the deporter in chief. They told him that he was the one that was separating kids from their parents and that he was locking them in cages.
They understand that we can secure our borders without tearing kids away from their parents.
Obama deported more. Obama had ice on your head. On your head. Obama had ice. Ice was on your head top when Obama was in office. Trump largely championed and continued what Obama was doing when it came to illegal migrants and deportation. Am I hearing something wrong? Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Don't sit here and tell me that I'm off. Don't sit here and tell me that I'm off. Stop it, bruh. Stop it, bruh. Stop it. Come on, man. Are we not hearing what we think we hearing? So this is an excuse to leave our borders completely open? If this is not the pot calling the kettle black? Oh, my God. Y'all ain't going for this shit, are y'all? I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Y'all not going for this, are y'all?
Just like we can keep our streets safe while also building trust between law enforcement and the communities they serve and eliminating bias, that will make it better for everybody.
I'm not doing this no more. I'm off. I'm off, Obama. Because listen, you're not going to just sit here and lie to me. You're not going to sit here and act like that I didn't hear what I heard when I heard it, and I know I heard it when I heard it. You know what I'm saying? Get off my... Let me read some of these super chats, bro. Yeah, what is they thought that we forgot? Anthony Allen says, just remember Franklin D. Roosevelt was in office when the Tuskegee experiment happened, / for the Democrats. Shout out to you. Albino, shout out to Albino, says, good vibes, Anton, found your retirement home, deep woods, high mountains of Cloudcroft, New Mexico, elk everywhere, deep woods, Tuskegee areas, nearby, beautiful place for Anton to vacate or retire maybe. I think that when it's all said and done, I'm going to retire into the woods. I'm going to retire into the woods like Justin Timberlake's album. That one where he was wearing in the woods stuff. Was Jeremiah right? Wrong after all? Derek Perry says, we don't need the humping hyena Judge Joe Brown. Diane Crowder says, something wicked this way comes to Chicago, a circus, so let the sideshow begin. What a shame. Pookie's friend Ray Ray is in the building, says, I dropped a truckload of agitators at the convention. Things didn't go as expected. Kid Chameleon says, Democrats abort our future constituency, hashtag LD Chess. Levi Apparel is in the building, says, Anton apologies, I'm a groupie for Obama. No Diddy first president voted for. However, someone with a policy that helps us is who I want to vote for. Shout out to you for at least admitting it. Randolph Harris says, Kamala looks crazy. She could never get my vote. Cognac TV. Shout out to Cognac TV. Shout out to you. Says, they're trying to convince me that someone else has control over my body based on what they take away as if I don't make the decision. The 3 exceptions to the rule are all the exceptions that we need. Shout out to you. Because they want to act like we're not acknowledging the exceptions to the rule. Edaman Williams says, Tim is the only governor that's still broke. El Castigator says, women have abused the privilege of having a bore and then shuns by using it as a form of birth control. That's their way of birth control, most popular way. Dark 80s Man says, I just paid my Wi-Fi while watching the speech. Blockchain Brian is in the building. Shout out to Blockchain Brian, says, peace AD. I think the Obamas as well as the Democratic side are still bewildered that Trump ever won, and they was pissed. They still can't get over it. They will do anything to keep him out. That is the goal, not policy. I remember when I watched a meme on X yesterday of they did a compilation of all of the people that said that Trump wasn't going to win, Nancy Pelosi and all of these people, and they was laughing. Brittany B is in the building, says, I would like to thank my union brothers and sisters in Arlington, Texas that actually make Escalades. Since having one is bad, real middle class workers build them. They don't want to take the money out of their pockets, do they? Oh, talk to them, Brittany B. I love you, baby. Thank you for hooking me up. Do the Right Thing says, the man couldn't sell me a car, fam. Dallas D is in the building and says, I think Michelle was slated to outdo his speech in support of girl power and black girl magic is all political theater to me. I agree with you. Eda Man Williams says that cameraman needed an raise. Yeah, put it on the lick chick that was crying. Quentin says, what about Steve Kerr? Shout out to my dog Quentin. Night Jade is in the building, says, this is how Hitler gained power. Treese, shout out to Treese. Kashranada says, unscrupulous insurance practices. Storytime and Wine is in the, shout out to Storytime and Wine, says, these people actually worship this dude like he MJ. MJ coming back as number 45. Eric Harris says, AD, just put the hoodie on, bro. I can't today. I ain't doing it. I ain't do it. I got the hoodie right in the background right there. Very disingenuous Anton, he went after criminals. Deep down, you're mad at Obama's aura. By the way, the Affordable Care Act is and was a great policy. How am I mad at Juju? How am I mad at Obama's aura when I literally gave him credit for the fact that he has something that no other president in my lifetime has? No, I'm just calling a spade a spade. You do realize that I'm the one that told people to be objective and stop having ad hominem attacks, right? Y'all just be saying stuff. Shout out to you for the super chat. I appreciate you. My rich friend is in the building, though. Shout out to my rich friend Ash, says he recently made a comment to the effect of, you almost hope Kamala wins the presidency. I agree. Even though we both want the economy to thrive under Trump, it appears people have not experienced enough crime and economic pain due to the women love affair over Kamala. I agree. It's almost like I don't think that people would truly even be able to appreciate Trump. And thank you, Ash, for supporting the platform. I don't think that people would truly even be able to appreciate Trump because they didn't appreciate him for the 2016 through 2020 era. And he would be in here fixing all of the problems. I think that people need to suffer. I think that people absolutely need to suffer. Shout out to you, Ash. Let me give another shout out to my rich friends on Cash App. Molly says, you got the patience of a saint. I got to give the people what they want. We wanted to give them a fair shot. Shout out to Molly in the building. William Davis, shout out to you for the 10 ball. I appreciate you, big dog. And then Christopher Donaldson in the building says, what up, Teflon OG Twine? Respect. Thank you, big dog. I appreciate y'all. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. Snap Text Fix in the building says, keep up the good work. I appreciate you also. And Chris Monroe, I appreciate you, big dog. Let's continue on with the show. We got a couple more things that we got to get to before we end the show. So buckle up. I told you it was going to be a long live stream. We got another half hour to go. And so if you are at work, be thankful that we're going to get you through the first half of what it is that you got going on. So on the docket right now is I want to bring somebody else to the front of the congregation. And this man who probably cuts his hair and then sells it to our culture in order to help them get a middle part bust down, like my boy Quentin says. Quentin got me saying middle part bust down all the time. This man with the good hair is one of the most horrific humans on the face of the earth. And he's actually a doctor here in Michigan, or he was a doctor here in Michigan. So I want to share this story with you guys because it came across my algorithm. This is not even something that somebody sent to me. It came across my algorithm, and I want y'all to be aware of what's happening in society and how this society is literally going down the drain. Literally going down the drain, all right? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and hide your kids and hide your wife, all right? Check this out. And remember, it don't matter whether they have glasses or they don't have glasses. These are the type of monsters that you have to deal with in society and why we have to be situationally aware, all right?
Rochester Hills physician accused of several sex crimes. Investigators say he filmed people of all ages while they were in hospital rooms and changing areas.
It goes from a 2-year-old to a grown woman. And so the victimization is so broad and the perversion so great that we're just beginning to wrap our arms around it.
And we start tonight with a warning. This story is really very disturbing. Police also are now accusing Dr. Omar Ajiz of having sexual encounters with patients asleep or unconscious.
Ajiz now faces...
Ladies, y'all need to be scared. Y'all need to be scared. I know y'all keep saying, oh, I'm going to date outside. The men out there, they get money, they spend money on me. Okay, well, they're going to be recording your baby and you at the same time. They're going to be recording you and your baby at the same time.
A litany of charges, including recording children while nude and child sex abuse. Victor Williams with more on this story. We learned the suspect's wife was actually the one who went forward to police, right?
Yeah, that's right, Devin and Karen. You know, they wouldn't know anything about any of these allegations if it wasn't for her stumbling upon something almost 2 weeks ago on August the 7th.
This individual potentially is one of the worst I've ever seen.
Sheriff Michael Bouchard on the allegations made against 40-year-old Rochester Hills physician Omer Ajaz.
It's not just children, it's not just women, it's not just men. It goes from a 2-year-old to a grown woman.
The only reason he got caught was because of his wife. His wife found out that this dude had all kind of videos recording your children, 2-year-olds, a 2-year-old. How evil of a person do you have to be to where you are a physician where people are entrusting their health care to you? You swore an oath and you are recording people, grown people, men, women, and all the way down to 2-year-olds. I want y'all to understand the type of demons that we dealing with out here in society today. This ain't even just on no finesse type stuff. This ain't a person that was just out here trying to make sure that, you know, they got some money out of something. They not just stealing, they're not doing crimes. They literally recording your children.
Ajaz is accused of recording hundreds of people against their will at multiple locations, including his own home and several hospitals. Some victims unconscious as the doctor allegedly films himself sexually abusing them on the operating table.
Dog, don't even give me no anesthesia no more, bro. Whatever it is that got to be done to me, just keep me awake. Whatever it is that got to be done to me, when I got my vasectomy, numb the area, keep me awake. When I got my teeth done, keep me numb, but just keep me awake. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what is going on. On the operating table, while they're unconscious, recording himself doing some of the nastiest things. Dog, you. Just keep me awake. Just keep me awake. To men, women, and even 2-year-olds.
He's also accused of placing a hidden camera in the changing room of Goldfish Swim School in Rochester. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald on the investigation and how it's affected her as a parent.
It's a complete violation, and it's terrifying as a mother. And we're going to do everything we can to hold him accountable.
At first glance, there's nothing alarming about Ajaz. He's an Indian citizen that's been working in the U.S. on a visa since about 2011.
I'm going to just set that there. Because y'all keep saying, Anton, I'm going to set that there. I honestly, listen, in my heart, I think that a lot of these people that be coming from these other countries be coming from and bringing with them. Y'all keep acting like it ain't no spirituality in this lifetime. Like we not fighting against principalities. I'm telling you, it's people that be coming over here and bringing their ways. Thank you for the cash apps. I'm going to read those shortly. Thank you for the super chats. I'm going to look out for y'all. It's people that be coming over here and bringing their ways. You don't know these people from Adam. We see them. They have on the hospital man robe or whatever it is, the hospital coat. They say, I'm Dr. Omar. I'm Dr. Omar.
but it said that there were thousands of videos in Ajaz's possession dating back about 6 years. As investigators go through confiscated devices such as 6 computers, 4 cell phones, and 15 storage devices, the allegations so far could be worse than those against Larry Nassar.
When you think about the incredible perversion and destructive activity of Nassar, he had a much smaller group of victims in terms of potential. There's no limit to his perversion.
Now, Ajaz was given a bond in the amount of $2 million, no 10%. We are going to stay on top of his legal process as all of that plays out, but we're here right now at Henry Ford Macomb Hospital, where police say that some of these practices went on. But right now, we know that they're distancing themselves from this man. They did send us over a statement which reads, quote, "This individual has never been an employee of Henry Ford Health, but had privileges at several area hospitals, including Henry Ford Macomb Hospital. The safety of our patients and team members is our top priority, and we have taken..."
So you know it's about to be a bunch of lawsuits, right?
Immediate action to prevent him from practicing at our health system. Victor Williams, Local 4.
So, Victor, what can people do if they want to come forward, but of course they may just want to stay anonymous in this situation?
Yeah, so over on our website, clickondetroit.com, we do have a link that people can go click on. It's actually an email address over to the Oakland County Sheriff's Department for people that want to stay anonymous, of course.
Listen, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because it's actually the type of stuff that turn my stomach, but just be careful. Sometimes we don't even know, and we're trusting of everybody, and this is why we grow up to have trust issues. Trust issues is a learned behavior. Trust issues is a learned behavior. It comes from trauma that you experience on a regular basis, including from people that you ultimately are supposed to have your best interest at heart. And so you go under, you get on the operating table, you trust in this person with your health, and next thing you know, they put Nate Johnson in your mouth, and they record themselves. And ain't no telling what happened after that. Nasty, nasty, disrespectful, evil, ugly, anything that you can possibly think of, they got to throw this guy under the jail. They got to throw this guy under the jail. And here's the thing. We don't even know what he was doing in his own country before he got here in 2011 or whenever it is that he got here. So be careful, y'all. Be very, very mindful. Be careful. Just wanted to share that with you guys really quickly. Let me read some of the Cash Apps and Super Chats. Shakedown says, under Biden, over 290,000 migrant kids are missing. Shout out to Shakedown. I appreciate you for supporting the platform. Christopher Donaldson says, we need to bring stoning black back for old dude. I agree, bro. That is nasty. That is absolutely some of the most worst thing. I just couldn't overlook it. I had to share it because I want to keep people situationally aware. Juju says, Juju 1045-2 says, Trump inherited Obama's economy. Stop the cap. Thank you, Juju. We know where you stand on this whole thing, and we know that you're delusional. Chris Spaghetti says, if you showed up on Timcast in real life, it would go crazy. I can't control what happens and where I go, man. Seeker of Truth says, supporting the show, great content. Thank you, my friend. Chris J in the building says, life, no parole, send them to Gen Pop. No, I think that some people need to be executed. Therese is in the building, says, that's that Kill Bill-ish that this guy is doing. Thank you to everybody that support the platform. I love you and I appreciate y'all. One more thing that we want to talk about that I want to share with you guys before we go. So I thought that this was intriguing, and I watched a little bit of it. I watched the first 2 minutes of it, and I said, I think that this is something that we can review on a Millionaire Morning Show. So a woman is breaking down her budget, and considering what we have going on in the election process, I'm starting to see a lot of people act like that they want to move out of the country. So with that being said, there is a woman, specifically a black woman, that decided that she wanted to move to Iceland from the United States of America. And this is something, let me give a credit to MSNBC. And she breaks down her journey, how much it cost her, and how she got over there in the first place. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications.
In high school is when I had some type of thought when I was sitting in economics class. While the professor was talking about like US economics and politics, something in my brain was just like, I don't think I'm meant to live in the US.
She got her. Oh, hold on, sister. Hold on.
In the U.S.
Oh, no. Somebody get Umar Johnson on the phone. He said no snow hares. No polar bears. No salsa. No rice. Don't you be hitting it, slapping palms. Don't slap palms. Umar Johnson ain't gonna like that. I don't know how many black people is over there in Iceland, but Umar Johnson ain't gonna like that. Listen, I'm all for it. I think you should go where you celebrate it and not where you tolerate it. But I'm just telling you, sister, you're gonna be in trouble. If you're a passport sis, you're gonna be in trouble.
When I moved to Iceland, it felt as if there was something magnetic.
Oh, snap. They supportive of the alphabet community too? All right.
Been pulling me in this direction. And I still haven't been able to put my finger on it exactly, but I know it has something to do with the nature. My name is Jules Chambers. I am 38 years old. I moved to Iceland from Brooklyn in 2016, and I make $73,000 a year. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, specifically in Bushwick. I moved to Iceland in June of 2016, and it was a huge change for me. The biggest reason for me moving is that I had married an Icelander. Besides love, I also was offered a job in the marketing department of a big travel company in Iceland.
How did she wind up marrying an Icelander? Did she go over there and meet him, or was he over here on vacation or over here on a work assignment? How did she wind up marrying an Icelander? I'm curious as to what this is.
Ex and I separated in 2022, and our divorce was finalized in July of 2023.
Most of the reasons why people, again, she moved over there for him, and then she wound up getting a divorce. She moved over there. Listen, I'm telling you that this is what she's saying out of her own mouth. Let me rewind it just for the people in the back.
Company in Iceland. My ex and I separated in 2022, and our divorce was finalized in July of 2023.
So she went over there for a man. Ooh, Azriel, Biz Q, K Cooper, Molly. See, y'all thought that was exotic. Oh, man. Yep. Toy. Yep. Rhonda. Look at you. I beg your pardon. I beg your, in the words of Umar Johnson, I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Yep. Y'all thought that y'all was getting y'all a nice Icelandic snow hair with ice coming down his beard. And now you stuck in Iceland. Let's continue to see what we got going over. See, I thought she moved over there on her own whim. Oh my God, I'm just traveling. No, baby, you was over there trying to get that Iceland D. You was getting Iceland D.
All Things Iceland gives you the inside scoop.
So she wound up quitting her job and just doing YouTube full time.
On Icelandic nature, history, culture, and travel through the eyes of someone who moved here as an American in 2016, giving travel.
But if you see, this is why y'all got to be careful. I'm gonna go through the show, but this is why y'all got to be careful, because if you brand yourself and you brand your channel, we All Things Iceland, now you can't move. Because your entire channel is going to be based off of just being one place. So you got to think about that. Think about your future. Maybe you want to expand. Maybe you want to move somewhere else. Maybe you want to explore the world. So now you can't just be all things Iceland. You got to rebrand yourself, but that's the thing that people recognize you for. So as a content creator, be careful, y'all, and make sure that you're branding yourself appropriately, not just for what it is that you're doing, but also for the future. Let's get into what she got going on.
Tips, advice, and sharing fun anecdotes about the country, as well as interviews on my podcast and really fun, helpful information across all of my social media platforms. All Things Iceland for the last 6 months has made a little over $50,000, and for the rest of the year, the projection is revenue of $100,000. And the company pays me, in essence, I pay myself $6,000 a month before taxes and pension.
So what she's basically telling you is that she don't make all of her money just on YouTube. She make all of her money on sponsorships, ad sales, affiliate marketing. And so she got to use multiple different ways in order to get that bag. Now, what she's also said is, but I created a company, and I pay myself $73,000 a year, even though we do revenue of over $100,000 a year. Looking at it from a business perspective, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. She sells maps, she do private tours. So it's all included. She do everything.
Because I have a great partnership, a long-term contract with a car rental company here in Iceland, I do not pay for anything regarding the car except for fueling it.
Nice.
There is universal health insurance in Iceland that is heavily subsidized. So once you've been living in the country for at least 6 months with a kennitala, or what would be considered your social security number, you're automatically rolled into the healthcare system. And when you go to the doctor, you do have to pay some amount of money, but it is normally not a lot. Oftentimes, when I've gone to the doctor, my cost might be like $3 or $4. In general, Iceland is expensive, and in particular when it comes to eating out, it definitely can be expensive. It is normal to pay somewhere between $25 to $30 for one course.
Now, that sounds like here in the United States of America. All right, so let's go over this budget. Housing and utilities is $2,000 a month. Groceries is $545 a month. She saved $420 a month for cash savings. $423 for discretionary, which includes household, wellness, entertainment, and cleaning. All right. Travel is $368. Fitness is $352, which is a gym membership and a personal trainer. I wonder if her personal trainer is male. Dining out is $321 a month. Life insurance is $73. Gas is $65 a month. And unexpected expenses is $61 a month, which includes doctor's visits and medicines. I don't see anything that's crazy about this. I'm going over it again. Housing and utilities, life insurance, gas, expected expenses, dining out, fitness, travel, discretionary. I don't see nothing crazy about this. I would like for her to have some level of investment, but just cash savings alone is not enough. The only thing that she's missing in this is she not investing nothing in herself. I don't like the whole cash savings thing. I don't like it. So she's not investing in herself the way that she needs to. But other than that, her budget looks pretty much like every other budget in America. So
at a restaurant, a main course. Often when I've gone out and I had a 3-course.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon. Look at Holly. Holly is that new Icelandic boyfriend. Snow hair is in the building. Holly says she got a new man. I wonder if she met that new man before or after her separation. Let me say that again. I wonder if she met this new man before or after her separation. My Icelandic African women. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Look at him. He eating with a knife and a fork. Umar Johnson going to be mad. Umar Johnson is going to be pissed at this one. Let's see how much this is going on.
Dinner, that would be somewhere around $100 to $120. A cup of coffee also varies depending on where you get it.
Oh, you got that trucker? You got that trucker? That trucker? You know what I'm saying? Got that trucker stomach. You know, when you let it go, no gym. See, when he was sitting down, it looked a little bit different than when he's standing up. But it's okay. He got him. She got her an Icelandic man. Got her a nice Icelandic man. They in the cafe. They getting them some holistic healing, all of that. Shout out to you, big dog. Shout out to all of the skinny fat people out here in these streets.
It could cost you as much as $7.50 to almost $8. I have a credit card. It's a U.S. credit card that I've had for a really long time.
Hey, dad bods matter. Dad bods matter.
time. I was so happy when I paid it off a couple of years ago. Thankfully, I do not have any debt.
He not the trainer?
Longer. I did pay off my student loans. Another thing that I was incredibly grateful to do. It's amazing to say that I am debt-free, and I'd like to keep it that way. Every month when I pay myself, because in Iceland you pay yourself once per month, that's usually how it happens, I put away automatically 10% into a savings account. So we're in Kronan, which is the store I normally like to shop at. This section is my section. Granted, in Iceland, it's limited. And the only reason why I love it is because at least I can get some fresh things. It's because I am plant-based. I often am buying fruits and vegetables, so bananas, of course. It's really important to me to try and shop as local as I can, just because I want to support the fact that Iceland has certain vegetables that it can grow and produce and like gives out. So due to produce always being imported and being in the country for a while, it's good to just like look around it and make sure, you know, okay, this is a decent one. I love mushrooms. They're so cool. One hot tip though, that if you're visiting and you are wondering about the water in Iceland, it is pristine, it's amazing. There's no reason to ever buy bottled water in Iceland, ever. Another very Icelandic thing that you'll find in stores besides meat is dried fish in particular. And this is harðfiskur, so it's dried haddock, and this is 1,699. Do not open this in an airplane, in someone's car without their permission. Like, it is a very intense smell.
That look nasty.
I love living in downtown Reykjavik, and I specifically live in the 101 area. On a street that's a little bit busy, but I don't mind it, especially being from New York. And for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom apartment with an indoor parking spot, I'll just say that because that's important to me, as well as a storage area downstairs, I pay a little over $1,900. Welcome to my humble abode. The bathroom is here. It's small but cozy. A nice big mirror and like storage space all over here. We walk right into—
I wonder why her Zaddy? Why Zaddy ain't living with her? Or why he not splitting costs? Why she not going 50-50?
The kitchen. I love having an island. I feel like I'm doing something wrong though, because I'm currently walking with my shoes on in Iceland in the house, and that is not something that you do. My workspace is here. Then over here is my chilling out
like a regular
space,
American
huge
apartment.
couch, TV. Even though I don't watch a ton of television, when I moved in here, my mom was like, you need to have a TV. I think she was right. This painting and the paintings that you see in this apartment are actually by my boyfriend. He's a great artist and a musician. In the last room of the house—
Artist and a musician. You know what the translation is when you say that a person is an artist and a musician? AKA broke. Whenever I hear a girl say, oh, my boyfriend is an artist and a musician, or I hear a guy and he jump on the coaching call and he say, Anton, no, man, listen, bro. I say, what does she do for a living? I'm trying to figure out if I should marry this girl, bro. What's her student loan debt? She got like, just a light $76,000 in student loans. Oh, okay, well, what does she do for a living, bro? Is she looking to pay that down? Well, she haven't been making payments currently. Well, what does she do? Oh, she's just an artist, and she also a painter. So that means that she broke. Yeah, she broke, but she living her dreams. That translation, AKA broke. But I'm living a dream, baby.
In this apartment is the bedroom. I love the closet space. All these closets are just—
That's why she got to pay all of her own bills.
Which is great. And a super comfy bed.
All right, we've seen enough. Shout out to her. Shout out to baby girl for out there getting to it and living her dreams in Iceland with her snow hairs. Umar Johnson wouldn't approve. But I think that as long as you're not breaking the laws, that you should go where you want to go, do what you want to do, and have some fun. Enjoy life as long as you're not hurting anybody. And you ain't leaving behind a bunch of baby daddies and a bunch of kids that's out here clamoring and asking for student loan forgiveness and social services. So anyways, let me go ahead and read some of the super chats and I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day. Shout out to her. My dog Spider Clamp. I seen you join the Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon. I'm 53 and need to be able to trust doctors. I didn't buy into COVID, but it decimated my trust in the medical industry. Demons are everywhere. I agree with you, Spider Clamp. Shout out to you, big dog, and shout out to all of the new bag chasers. Kid Chameleon says, but Anton, a doc should love who he wants to love. That's what we going towards. Edaman Williams says, Iceland have never been known for healthcare. Don't get sick. She got a snow tiger. A snow tiger. Storytime reading and wine says peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Edaman says $1,900 for a 1-bedroom. Y'all don't even want to know what I pay. I pay a crazy amount. Chris J says I'm not paying a mortgage price for an apartment. I like it. I think it's awesome. Edaman Williams says she went to Iceland to find a white pookie. Well, we know he ain't got no money. We just don't know whether or not he a pookie or not. You know what I'm saying? If he's still living with mom and daddy or whatever. Anyways, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. We back at it tomorrow morning. I was going to stream Tim Wall's speech tonight, but then that would ruin for what we got going on in the morning. So we back at it tomorrow. We gonna review more of the Democratic National Convention. We gonna cover it. I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for continuing to rock with me. Stay safe, stay focused, and do not get in any trouble while we here. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Deuces.